Hannah, how could you forget? It's the day of the Lord. The day that I stream. What's running up your... Oh, you pooped and it's running up your back? Yikes. Are you in a space station floating around? Because sometimes that happens to me when I'm out in space. How are you and Pradeep? I hope you and Pradeep had a Merry Christmas. We did. We had the merriest of Christmases. Except he left the room, so obviously he's had enough of my bull poop. Yeah, I hope you guys had a Merry Christmas. I had the best Christmas. It was the best one I've ever had. I met Santa. I caught him in a trap coming down the chimney. I set a bear trap at the bottom. It caught its butt. Caught him by the butt. And I finally found out that he was real. For years and years, I thought it was my parents just fucking buying me gifts and shit, but it was actually an old man making his way to every house, all 9 billion people on Earth, bringing them gifts. But proportionate to their, family's income. So I don't know if, like, Santa takes, like, a tax or something, but he gets it done. But unfortunately, now he has an infection from an old rusted bear trap that I caught him in. So sorry about that, Santa. Hopefully your booty doesn't get gangrene, but you know what? If you would have just answered any of my letters when I was younger, it wouldn't have had to happen like this. That's why Santa probably didn't make it to your guys' house, because I had actually caught him like some sort of feral beast. You spent your entire Christmas on Zoom? I wonder why did Zoom get so popular, like, right after the start of the Corona bullshit? Like, wasn't there, like, what about Discord? Why don't people use Discord for that kind of stuff? Or isn't there, like, any other manners in which to communicate? Logic freestyle time, ready and go. Yo, what's good? It's Christmas time. But I ain't got the time to see ya. Wouldn't wanna be a no. 'Cause you a ho. And I gotta go to my stream. And cream. Live to the people on Zoom. Going all day boom. In the panties. It's fancy. If your name is Nancy, hey. I can't freestyle for shit. And I hope you ain't a bitch about it. Can't freestyle worse shit. Don't be a bitch about it. Just accept me for who I am. Especially with my stinky clam that I found at the bottom of the ocean. Do you feel the motion of my words now? Sarcastic Unicorn with the 7 Canadian dollarinos says, hey, let's read. Hope you and Pradeep had a great Christmas. Excited for another live reading session. Well, thank you for returning, Sarcastic Unicorn, and thank you so much for the 7 dollarinos and the first dono of the night. I appreciate that. And welcome all you beautiful people. All 200 of you right out the gate. Joel freestyles for 15 minutes, trying to think of literally any words to rhyme. What's up, Clarence? Hey, room. Hey, chatty room. drop this rap on Apple Music. Yo, we're about to fucking blow Chills and Corpsey out of the water. I was gonna say something about their daughters, but I felt like it was like inappropriate, and they don't have them either, so no worries. Jules got bars, Mars bars, straight from the Hershey factory. Oh, they call me the chocolate daddy. Oh, everything's fine now that Let's Read is streaming. Let me take you away from your pains, your struggles, the cold weather, the lack of sun. Let me breathe the serotonin directly into your ears. You hear that? That's fucking serotonin going directly into your brainstem via your ear holes. Buttersock 8188 with the 21 Canadian maple syrup dollars. That's a big dono. Thank you, Buttersock. Says, hope everyone is having a great holiday. By the way, for any Star Wars fans, if Yaddle married Yoda and gave birth to Grogu, then would it be Yodaddle e Grogu? Did I read that right? Then would it be Yodaddle a Grogu? Are you insulting my father? It's so funny hearing that Baby Yoda's name is Grogu, because I haven't been keeping up with the new Mandalorian episodes. Is he getting older, even though he ages like 1 year every 100 years? But thank you, Buttersock, for the $21 Renos. Thank you, thank you. This song, oh yeah, so this is from Cozy Christmas Beats, Lo-Fi Hip-Hop Mix. I have it downloaded here, but it's around the 30-minute mark, in case you want to go look that up. Cozy Christmas Beats, Lo-Fi Hip-Hop Action. New Year's Eve itself is terrifying time in general for me, and that's not even when I interact with anyone. Yeah, I feel ya. Oh, man. I presume that Manhattan will, will not be packed with people. And the ball drop will be digital, dude. Trinity A with the 5 Aussie bucks says, hey Joel, super excited for the reading this afternoon. Maybe it's time for a singing career instead of reading. I think it's time. We must get into opera. Have I done my warm-up? Dude, my warm-up is right now. My freestyles with y'all's is with y'all. And I am slowly sipping on my flavored tea. Got my, honestly, you should try it. If you get tea and you mix BCAAs in there, which are the branched chain amino acids, which are the makeup of proteins, they usually have like some interesting artificial flavors. I don't know if those are good for you, especially the red number 9. Who knows? Helps me concentrate. But yeah, you mix that in the tea, and it makes tea not taste like old mushroom goo, you know? Or like a weird biofilm that you found under, you know, in a puddle beneath a tree. Does anyone play Cooking Mama or Animal Crossing on the Nintendo Switch? Damn, Cooking Mama? Does it cook for you? Tree Flesh plays Animal Crossing. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. There it is. That's all I needed, really. I'm fucking warmed up. I'm actually over warm. Sometimes you can over warm up, and you can actually burn up. You can burn out. I think I'm burn out. That's what happened. BCAs with ice, crushed ice is good. Oh yeah, that sounds yummy. I never really know like if they're useful or not, because I take them after working out or like during working out, and I don't really know if they do anything, to be honest. I'm not really sure what the fuck like I should be eating at all. Is anybody on here a nutritionist? Because I would love to like fashion together some sort of, you know, food plan. X299 chipset. Venus Flytrap with the 5 buckaroonies has been grinding Genshin Impact for days. The ice zone is awful, but I hope everyone is having a wonderful Sunday. That's so interesting you bring that up, Venus, because I was literally last night laying in bed looking up, like, what the fuck is Genshin Impact? Because I see it, you know, Twitch streamers playing it. It was more popular a little while ago, but I'm like, and it says it's supposed to be around for a while, and I'm just, like, curious, like, what kind of game is it? Is it an MMO? Is it just, like, sort of a single-player game? Like, can you play with friends? Just interesting. Overwarm and Overwatch. Can you guess what game I'm playing? Oh, man. Overwatch is pure pain. Just pure, endless, non-stop pain. I can't break free of it. Raven Westnidge with the $5. Reno says, how many stories we blessed with tonight, Read Daddy? Well, thank you, Raven. We got 5 New Year's Eve stories tonight. They're nice, they're thick, they're girthy. They've got the stuff. And I think you're going to like them. The God of Pez with a 5 says, Joel, for Christmas, I asked for an epic beard, storytelling skills, and a voice that makes panties drop. But I can only make panties drop. Santa let me down. You know, hey, really, sometimes you just kind of have to hope that maybe your progeny will be blessed with those skills. And if you can make the panties drop, I think you got plenty of progeny coming your way. Literally. But thank you for the 5, Pez man. Pez dude. Pezington. Peasant. No, not peasant. I'm sorry. Augusto. Tiomno. Keep the creepy stories coming. Great channel. Thank you. Thank you, Augusto. I appreciate that. And Laura with the 5 says, hey, Joel, having my 1-week post-op appointment tomorrow. Probably will get a hard cast as opposed to the splint I have now. Pepper deep for me. I shall. I was curious how things are progressing for you. I'm glad you're not like in painstaking, endless pain there, because that shit's terrible. But I'm glad you are moving onward, and hopefully the cast will enable you to perhaps even get around a little easier. There's Alec. Good old Alec is in his house. Connor says, hey man, hope you had a good Christmas and a great New Year. Sending love and respect from Holly and I, posting this until you see it because your chat is always blowing up. Yeah, baby. Thank you, Connor. It's good to see you. And tell Holly I said hello. Always appreciate you guys. Appreciate the kind words. Tree Flesh says, hope everyone's 2021 is marginally better than 2020 and full of cat boys. Hell yeah. I'm dressed up as a cat boy right now, so. Unfortunately, I don't have a camera to present it to you, but if I did, I would. And you guys would be fucking meowing. You'd be mewing at how cat boy-y I am. Cat boys are ruining my life. Joel, how was your Christmas? It was okay. I got coal this year, actually. It was the first time ever. It was very bad. I did a lot of bad things. Non-stop. 24/7. You know, even Satan was like, Jesus, dude, you need to chill. And I was like, no. I want coal so I can, you know, start up a grill and not use propane or propane accessories. He's a hairy cat, very hairy cat. Black hair everywhere. You got fraud from a gift card this weekend? All bad. Really? That's weird. Want to be a Maine Coon? Oh yeah. I'd be a thick boy. Thick, tall, and long. You got gray coal this year? Is that like pre-burnt coal? That'd be hilarious. Just a bag full of dust from Santa. So here you go, you piece of shit. You literal crap. That's true. At least I can stay warm. All those kids with Xboxes, when their power goes out, they're going to be coming over to my house so that they don't get frostbitten. But guess what? you're not getting through my tarp door. It's reinforced with cinder blocks. Oh, you could make diamonds with coal. I could put them in my butt and squeeze them together until it produces a diamond. I don't know. Is that how they do it? Is that how they make them, usually? Is that how Mother Earth Gaia gives us the diamonds? She squeezes them between her cheeks until they're a fine, shiny rock. Propane and propane accessories. Debating on playing Cyberpunk while listening to your live, either that or knocking out. As per usual, you have much planned for the... Oh, you have much planned for the New Year. Also, how do I become a supporter? I've been trying to find out. Well, I suppose there's a few different ways there, Mr. Connor. You can click the join button, which should be near either on, like, you know, maybe not the live stream page, but the main page, or I think near the money donation thing you can do that. But you also can get some perks if you go over to Patreon, and it's only $1 a month or $10 a year to get early access, which is pretty dope, to all the audio you can download and bring wherever you'd like, on the plane, on a bird, on a Superman, wherever you're flying. So that's one way, one or two ways. Laura with the 5 says, thanks you for concern. Yeah, it's more annoying than anything. Sleeping is interesting. How's your ankle going? Lay back and chill. Now deuces. Okay, well, feel better. My ankle's good. I twisted it a while ago, but I was just thinking about that the other day, just like how injuries just make you feel powerless, but it does kind of like give you incentive and motivation on like how can you recover from this the fastest. And thank God for YouTube and the free-flowing amount of information that exists on the internet, so you can always try something whenever conventional medications just aren't cutting it. Such as DIY amputations. That's where I was going to go with. Nikki Newman with the 5 says, just letting y'all know Joelle is swole and juicy. Okay, carry on, please. Thank you for the reminder. Sometimes people be forgetting about my juiciness. How I'm just literally dripping syrup from my body at all times. Lila says she's obsessed with playing Crash Bandicoot on Switch. Nice. Was that the remake or the number 4? I forget. I think I'm going to sneeze also. Prepare yourselves for that. Prepare a bless you in advance. Just kidding, I might not sneeze. I don't need your blessings! But I've been playing, speaking of video games, I played a little bit through Sonic Mania. Have you guys seen Sonic Mania, which is... I sound like a late night talk show. Have you guys seen this Sonic Mania is taking the nation by storm? Little blue guy goes around in circles. But no, I don't know. It's pretty fucking hard, but it's also easy at the same time, where essentially you just like go one direction and the game just sort of like plays itself almost. And but then like the platforming kind of like makes you really feel like, holy shit, like platforming games back in like the way early 90s and shit were just not very like precise, you know what I mean? And there's just like so many times where you're trying to make jumps as Sonic and he either like over jumps or under jumps, or the momentum is just like really weird. I don't know, the physics are just strange in that game, but it's pretty cool looking. Makes me want to go play Sonic Adventure and get the Chow Chows. Before Let's Read started taking off, I honestly was thinking like maybe I could start a YouTube channel where I just play Sonic Adventure and play with my Chow Chows in the Chow Garden. And I just thought, who knows, maybe I'll just like fucking get big playing Chows, but thank God that didn't happen. Even though that does sound chill, I think I would have ran out of content pretty fast. And my audience would have been not much fun to talk to. But a really cool game I've been playing with my one buddy recently is Dying Light Cooperative. I was playing it in Discord the other night, and holy shit, man, that game is sick. Like, as far as zombie games go, I told you guys this before, but like I used to have dreams where I would just like run from zombies, like in parkour style, just like all over the place to get away from mass amounts of zombies. And this game is literally like my living nightmare, where it's like a parkour game with really, really good parkour, but then zombies like everywhere. And it's just awesome. It's just like a beautiful game. The graphics are amazing, even though it came out in 2015. It looks better than like most shit that exists nowadays, to be honest with you. And just the zombie hack and slashing is really satisfying and fun. The world that you're in, it feels very alive because there's a lot of like different things, like all of the foliage is like fluttering in the wind. There's like all sorts of particle effects and different, you know, graphical things. There's like birds flying around. I don't know, it just feels very populated, even though it's like technically an apocalyptic wasteland. And yeah, Dying Light 2 should be sick. It makes me now want to burn through this one just to see what comes of it all, you know. But fartcore, yeah. Farting to get from one place to the next. You haven't played Dying Light yet. I will once I'm done with Cyberpunk. You should, yeah. It's probably definitely cheap now, but it's a fucking sick game, honestly. It was weird. I like chopped this one zombie's head off and I got close to it, and like it was strange. Like even like the different like vessels in the fucking like neck that would be like veins and shit like that. Like those like had physics to them, which was like really strange. I'm like, holy shit, this game is like ultra detailed, and it just makes for a lot of like really funny moments. But it's also terrifying because if you go out at nighttime, the zombies become a lot more rabid, and there's some that are like way faster than you, and you just like pretty much have to sprint to get away and hide, and it just makes you feel fucking super vulnerable. Sizz Soul with the 5 says, I played Dying Light with my friend and hot diggity damn, it was amazing. I know, yeah, like as far as the co-op experience goes, it's just, I don't think I played much better co-op experiences in a while. I don't know if you guys have, but it's a good time. $30 for the DLC Dying Light game with most DLC. Yeah, and they still like support the game, which is pretty wild. They actually just released some more DLC for it, which I thought was pretty impressive. And I think they like added guns and vehicles, all this cool shit. Alrighty. Let us kick off these stories. Like I said, we got 5 stories tonight. I'm gonna switch over to a little bit of creepy music, if that's alright with y'all. Though I do love this chill hop action going. I wonder what this one, field recording of a non-existent place. Yeah, this should do it. That ought to do it. Just to set the mood but not be too intrusive. That's kind of like my motto, you know? How's old Joel? Oh, how old's Joel? How old is Joel's? Joel's the moles. Remember to stay in the UV lights to keep the volatiles away. Yeah, I know. It's like terrifying trying to get there. Alrighty. Also, it's kind of interesting. I found this one video on YouTube where it talks about like how to exfoliate your lips. You know what I mean? And that's like something that not many people I think to do during the drier winter seasons. Especially as a guy. It's not something I think about too much, is exfoliating my lips. But it was pretty neat, just the techniques that they had, where it was like you could make your own like sugar-based exfoliant just using like, it was like olive oil and sugar until it makes like a little bit of a paste, and then she was like just like rubbing that on her lips, and then she took like a soft, you know, bristled toothbrush, put like Vaseline on it, like, you know, I use Aquifer, and then you kind of like move that in like circles in your lips, and it I mean, I was using like Vaseline-based stuff anyways for the lips, but after you exfoliate it and then you do that, man, it fucking Looking. Oh no, yeah. The whole the even part that I brought this up was because she said that, like, she's like, and then you have a really kissable pout, and I was like, what the fuck is a kissable pout? And I realized she was talking about her lips. She calls her lips pouts. I was like, I've never heard that terminology before, but yeah, if you guys are looking for a real kissable pout, be sure to follow those techniques. It's going to be pretty lit for the winter season. Ears are dry as sandpaper. Yeah, mods, please pass out the socks for tonight's reading so everyone can follow along. Also, yeah, if you want to link the Discord, you guys can join that if you would be so inclined. You want some very moist lips. You need them. You need moist lips to read. That's why it's very important to me. Emmy, sorry about your ear infection. That sucks. I'm sorry. Should really exfoliate and moisturize everywhere. This is true. If you want to maintain a very kissable bodily pout, you want to maintain that, you're going to need to exfoliate, moisturize, stay hydrated, get some sleep, get out and exercise. Did you know exercising actually generates collagen production in your body, which helps you maintain yourself looking younger? So if you want to stay looking younger, be sure to go out there and get some exercisation going, baby. Let's go. All right. Enough of my bullshit. Enough of my beauty tips. This ain't a beauty tip channel, baby. This is a fucking spooky channel. This is where you get spooked, not pretty. Who knows? Maybe I'm trying to make you guys look pretty so I like scaring pretty people. Just like Jason Voorhees. We're going back. Okay, here we go, baby. We're going back about 10 years for this one, but this was without a doubt one of the worst nights of my life, and it's one that all started on New Year's Eve. A few friends of mine all congregated in one of our parents' houses, doing some pre-drinking before we were due to head out to a New Year's party. We got toasty on a few tins, then ended up getting a taxi into the city center, where there was this massive student house in the Georgian Quarter where a load of locals and students alike had gathered to get bladdered and see in the new year. It was a decent enough party at first, like, everyone seemed nice and friendly, and whoever lived there, Jesus Christ. Someone's gonna have to keep track of mistakes. I usually see Vixes in the chat doing that, but someone else is gonna have to step up. I'm the new James Charles, yes. This is he checking in. I don't know much about James Charles, to be honest with you. I feel bad. I'm never like up to date with all the hip happening cool people on YouTube. I just know their names pretty much. Would I let a girl peg me? Like, give me a peg leg if I lost my leg to a shark? Is that what you're talking about? Like if I was like a really cool, sexy pirate with a peg leg? Is that what getting pegged is? Joel Charles. I was a decent enough Oopsies. It was a decent enough party at first, like, everyone seemed nice and friendly, and whoever lived there had to put in a great deal of effort to make people feel welcome, putting out snacks, ice for drinks, rigging up a big old speaker system to pump out the tunes, that sort of thing. Then at one point during the night, I noticed a few lads wandering around the party who looked like they didn't exactly belong there. It wasn't because of how they looked or dressed, like there was a big mix of people. Sorry. Thank you. You guys got the count going. I didn't miss anything with James Charles. I mean, like, I don't know. I just don't give a shit about, like, mainstream shit. I mean, I understand, like, people might be into that kind of stuff. Like, sorry. I had to move my trash bag because my fucking headphones are, like, dragging across them every time I move my head. I don't even know why my headphones are on. Oh, yeah, so I can hear the spooky music. I gotta set the spooky tone for myself as well. Use a generous amount of lube. I'm trying, dude. Okay. It wasn't because of how they looked or dressed. Like, there was a big mix of people there from all different backgrounds, and it definitely made for a better atmosphere. The thing that got me was that while everyone was engaged in conversation or the like, drinking or dancing or whatever, these lads seemed to be just looking around, like they were just lost or looking for someone. I never really thought much of it at the time, though, like there were so many different people going in and out of the house all the time. I'd never been there before, hardly knew any of the people who actually lived in the house, so I wasn't really to know who should and shouldn't have been there, and it's not like I was about to start playing bouncer or security guard or whatever. Then, like an hour or so later, I'm in the kitchen trying to fish one of my cans of cider out of an already overstocked fridge, when someone walks up to me with this anxious look on their face. "Hi, do you know that guy in the waterproof jacket that's been walking around?" It was one of the students who actually lived in the house. Me? No, I thought you knew them," I reply, taking out a can and cracking it open. "No, I thought they were with you," they reply, looking a bit more nervous as they're talking. There's a sort of awkward pause in the conversation before the person asks, "Can you get them to leave?" This was exactly the sort of thing I was trying to avoid. Like I said, I wasn't up for playing bouncer, and I was pretty bloody confused as to why they were asking me to do so. Mate, it's not my house. It's not my party. I'm not gonna go round telling people that they can't be here," I say before wading through the crowds to find my mates. A little while later, I realized I couldn't see any of the dodgy-looking guys hanging around the parties, so I just thought it had been dealt with by someone else. But then, the fella who'd asked me to kick them out comes up to me and actually thanks me for getting rid of them. Again, there's this moment of confusion where I'm like, "I didn't do anything, mate. They must have just left on their own." I really thought that was the end of it, but boy was I wrong. I remember being pretty drunk by the time I nipped upstairs to use the third-floor toilet, one that had some windows looking into the street out the front of the building. So I'm standing there, draining the main vein, just sort of blankly staring out the window when I see this car pull up. Nothing out of the ordinary, just a car with a few lads piling out. I watch them go around to the boot. To the boot? What the fuck's a boot? Is that like a garage? Squawk? Our squawks are on the house tonight, folks. Who needs a squawking? Squawk me, daddy. Squawk me, bird dad. Oh, Hannah's gotta go. Bye, Hannah. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs lick your toes. Do you guys, you know what I kind of feel like during this whole process of COVID, whatever it may ambiguously be, is that I feel like one of the downfalls, aside from everybody losing their job and shit like that, and people dying, and et cetera, like, I feel like the movie industry is going to get completely shit on. Have you guys noticed that? Where, like, everything seems to be transitioning to, like, some sort of streaming service? You know, I mean, obviously that seems like the natural progression of things, but I don't know why, but, like, I'm sure everybody else here does as well, but I really, really enjoy the process of going to a movie, getting situated and watching it, you know, blow my ears out on a big screen. And I just kind of feel like that's going the way of the dildo bird, you know what I mean? And I don't know. Unless things start to chill out and people have more faith in existing in normal society again, I'm not really sure what the end game is, but I don't know. Yeah, you know, like Disney Plus, HBO Max, like those things are probably blowing up with people being stuck in home for entertainment. But I mean, yeah, it's not like movies had been all that great that we're missing or whatever for the most part, but I don't know. I'm just curious, like, how things will go. Movie theaters are expensive, but damn, they don't deserve to go out of bed. I know, right? Like, that's... I mean, people did say, like, oh, well, what about drive-ins? You know, I'm, you know, when it gets warm again, or say you live in a warm area, fucking drive-in movies, man, that'd be sick again. Those are fun because usually you get about 2 going. But I would go all the fucking time if that was the case. Tenet was amazing. That's cool. Yeah, what was Tenet about? It had a very similar like color palette to Inception, where everything just kind of felt like it was filmed around a bunch of like artificial concrete, you know? That's kind of like how I felt Inception was filmed. Like it was all just like this like big strain, like from the same movie set, you know? What's my favorite color? I guess seafoam green. I watched them go around to the boot, open it up, then start to pull out mass. I did a kind of double take like, what is this? They were pulling out ski masks, balaclavas, all sorts of stuff like that, followed by baseball bats, hockey sticks, knives, all kinds of blunt and sharp weapons. My brain was just slowed by the alcohol, I think, and I remember thinking, someone's in for a rough night, only realizing it was us that was in trouble when they started heading up the pathway towards the house, the same party house which had an open, unlocked door to allow pretty much anyone and everyone to just wander in and out at their leisure. The night was about to go very, very wrong for us. I don't think I even finished up my pee properly, at least I have no memory of doing so. The only thing I remember is rushing back to the room where my mates were chilling, just in time to hear a load of screaming and shouting coming from the ground floor. I just remember saying, "We need to get out of here, now." But my mates were so blitzed that they just sort of looked back at me in confusion like, why, what's up? Not even bothering to move at first. I grabbed my jacket from off the floor, trying to tell them what I'd just seen, and what I just heard coming from downstairs, but I think I was so scared and drunk that it all just came out as a babble at first. I think maybe they just thought I was pulling their leg at first, that I was just playing some daft prank on them. I get it. The mood went from 0 to 100 really bloody fast, and I can totally understand their confusion. But then all of a sudden, this lad appears in the doorway of the room we were occupying, wearing a gaiter over. What's a gaiter? A gaiter, like an alligator? Wearing an alligator's head.
Gator.
Gaiter. A cloth or leather leg covering reaching from the instep to above the ankle or to mid-calf or knee. An overshoe with fat. Oh, it's like for soccer or some shit? Is that what they do in soccer? Wear gaiters? Alligators? Oh, imagine a gator made out of gator skin. That would be sick. You're wearing a gate, yes. But then all of a sudden this lad appears in the doorway of the room we were occupying wearing a gaiter over the bottom half of his face with a baseball bat in his hand. Only then did they really realize how serious I'd been. The lad just instantly took a swing at my mate who was closest to the door, and he only barely got out of the way in time. The lad then just starts shouting at us to stay seated, but to throw our phones into the middle of the room. There's a moment of hesitation, and the There's a moment of hesitation, and the lad decides to let us know how serious he is by smashing a stereo near to him. I mean, he swung so hard with the baseball bat that he just obliterated that thing with one swing. That was all it took to get us to comply, and we all tossed our phones, sorry. That was all it took to get us to comply, and we all tossed our phones into a rough pile in the middle of the room. We thought he'd just grab them and leg it, but that wasn't enough for him. He starts asking for wallets, MP3 players, anything of any value, basically for us to empty our pockets. While this is going on, I can see all kinds of chaos unfolding in the hallway outside the room we're in. Lads are getting brave with the invaders only to get smacked in the face with brass knuckles or hockey sticks. Girls are getting pulled by their hair down the hall, falling over their high heels and getting carpet burn from getting dragged along the carpet. God knows what happened to them after they got their phones or wallets stolen. A few of us tossed our empty, as we were incredibly poor, next to our phones. A few of us tossed our empty wallets next to our phones, but since only a few of us did, this masked guy thinks the rest of us are holding out on him. He doesn't smash an appliance this time, though. He edges forward and swings the bat down onto my mate's shoulders. Jesus Christ, the scream that came out of him after the impact was just unreal. Like I knew in an instant that he'd broken something, and he just falls down to the carpet and starts grimacing in agony. The fella's all like, "I told you, wallets now!" Maybe one or two more wallets get tossed into the pile, but there are still lads sat around who basically haven't thrown anything in the middle of the room, and the fellow with the baseball bat has noticed this. He takes another swing at the lad whose shoulder he just smashed, bringing the bat down hard onto his side with this horrible, sickening thumping sound. It totally knocks the wind out of him, and if I didn't know any better, I'd have thought the gasping noises he were making were him properly dying. One of the guy How to get into the story reading thing? You just tried it, Started out more as just a concept, like I'll start a YouTube channel where I can read, because I can do that pretty frequently, and post a lot of videos. But then I stumbled across the creepypasta community, and I was like, and it just kind of took me down the direction that I am in now. One of the guys blurts out that he's got nothing on him, that all his stuff in the living room... One of the guys blurts out that he's got nothing on him, that all his stuff is in the living room downstairs. I think he was one of the guys who actually lived in the house. This answer didn't satisfy the masked fella, who then smacks the downed broken bones guy for a third or fourth time, and gets him absolutely screaming in agony as yet another bone breaks. We're all pretty much begging him to stop at this point, but he just keeps smashing that baseball bat down onto our mate, barking at us to give him everything we've got, or he'll just kill our mate. I think the only thing that saved his life was the appearance of another masked lad in the doorway, who told him that they had to leave before the police showed up. And at that, the raiders were gone as quickly as they'd come. They'd ransacked the entire house, beaten up anyone who so much as put up an ounce of resistance. The whole place was just in shock. Girls were crying or wailing over the unconscious bodies of those lads they'd knocked out with bats or brass knuckles. It was honestly like walking through a war zone as I shakily plodded down the stairs, surveying the scene while my mates tried to tend to the guy who had the absolute shit. I started this channel about 2014, so it's been about 6 years. I guess I was 24 when I started. I'm 30 now. It's kind of crazy. It's been a long road. Has. Sucks to be single during the pandemic. I know. I was thinking that earlier too. Like, I was at Walmart, and first off, I'm just like, what the fuck? We can't have people in our house, but we can have like 9,000 people in Walmart, whatever the fuck. And like, I was just thinking like, man, like even, like just the idea of like interacting with the opposite sex or whatever is kind of nerve-wracking in and of itself, you know what I mean? If you want to like just go up and talk to somebody, like it's a tough thing to do, like, because, well, first, it's the fear of denial. It's also the confidence in oneself, which I guess is the most important aspect in general. And then I'm thinking like, but now, not only do you have to overcome all of the normal bullshit that you would have to overcome psychologically in your own interpersonal struggles or whatever with dating and et cetera, but now it's like everybody's got a mask on. It's like logically you would presume that people don't want you to talk to them anyways, but let alone like they don't even want you to get fucking near them, you know what I mean, in general. And I don't even know, and the weirdest thing is you don't ever know like everybody's like perspective on it too. You don't know if they're like a little bit more lenient about socializing or whatever, and it's like, so essentially dating is kind of like, outside of maybe like communicating with someone from a distance online and then organizing some sort of hangout or whatever, I imagine like the sort of organic process of meeting somebody is relatively out the window depending on the context. You know what I mean? I mean, it's not 0% chance of happening, but it's certainly not. The romantic sense of things, I feel like, are just non-existent right now. You know what I mean? You need to go blanky mode is what you need to do. Your four walls keep you company. That's nice. But I don't know. It's just fucking awkward, I suppose. Straight people dating is weird. I know within 15 seconds of walking into a room which dude I want to marry and which guys I wouldn't touch if he was the last dude on earth. Wait, are you a straight person talking about that, or a non-straight person talking about it? I mean, I guess that would make sense that you were a non-straight person because you brought that up, but yeah, it's awkward. It's definitely an awkward process. I'm sure everybody can relate, even whether you're straight or not straight. I'm sure. I mean, I don't know what you know, people of various sexual orientations would. I don't know what they go through. I mean, I have some friends that, like, I had a gay buddy. I went on he was one of a few friends that we all went on this like cruise. You know what I mean? And I think I told you about the cruise story before. It kind of sucked because it was just like I had like motion sickness the whole time, but it was just funny because like, you know, he he just met somebody on a dating app and like, you know, I was like, oh, because we went to like some event and I was like, oh, is this the guy you were talking about or something like that, or like we just met him or whatever, and it seemed like they were getting along fine. I'm like, oh, that's kind of nice. You just met him on Tinder on a fucking boat or whatever, and he's like, remember when you were in the gym there? I was like, yeah, and he's like, well, that's when we went down to the fucking what the hell is it, like the sauna, and you know, got naked with each other and did whatever. But I'm just like, that seems rather convenient, where you can just kind of like throw it out there and get it out of the way and figure out the emotional stuff later. But I'm like, that seems pretty straightforward. But anyway, boats scare you. It was a pretty big boat. I mean, cruise ships are interesting. Like, they're just very cramped. It's like so much shit, but just like very fucking cramped. You know what I mean? Johnny Sins is here. What's up, Johnny? A Discord invite, yeah. Oh yeah, I think Fry just linked one above you there, Sweets. You might be able to click on it if you scroll up a tad. God of Pez with the 5 says, hey, listen, Joel, tell us about everything you bought at Walmart tonight. Don't lie to your fans. Well, I bought a Dakimakura body pillow because things are getting lonely during COVID, and I gotta start simulating girlfriends now at this point. But no, what the fuck did I get? I got avocados, little those like little those like little holiday weenies, where they're like just these super fat little sausages that sometimes have cheese in them. This all sounds kind of gross, but those are really good. My mom makes those like as snacks for holidays season, and I was like, you know what, fuck it, I want to eat an entire pack of that shit right now. And I've kind of been trying to transition back to like the keto diet, like the low sugar, at least just low sugar, low carb diet, because I just feel a lot better when I do that. I don't feel bloated, I don't feel like shit, et cetera, et cetera. But so I'm gonna try to do that. I got some avocado. Was that it? Was that all the shit that I got? What I wanted to do when I got there was get Pradeep a new fucking like Little Smokies. Yeah. Those are fucking awesome. But I wanted to get Pradeep a new like little water fountain, you know what I mean? And you know, that's but they didn't fucking have that at Walmart. Oh, and I wanted to get a new pillow. That's what I wanted. Because, dude, I've been like investing probably way too much fucking money into trying to find like a good pillow, and you find it on like Amazon. You kind of just have to like try it out. And but like I don't really like I have this old ass fucking pillow that's essentially like flat, and I just kind of like pillows that are flat. But I kind of want like a flat pillow, but it also has some like, I guess like almost memory foam-esque comfort to it, you know what I mean? And it's, but like all the other pillows I get, like I got that My Pillow, I got this other pillow, like they just get so fluffy that whenever you put your head on it, it just feels like it's like squishing your chin into a double chin, and then you can't even like fucking breathe, but then it's like, you can get it set up so it's like kind of under your shoulders so you're like more comfortable, but then fucking, you know, I'm more of like a rotating side sleeper kind of thing. You know, I like to sleep on my side, so like I tend to have my shoulders on the bed aspect, whereas the head's on the pillow. I just can't find a good pillow like that. Like I don't even know if you guys have any suggestions for pillows. I don't really like big fluffy ass pillows, and that's all fucking Walmart had was these stupid ass, like, it might as well have been just another fucking bed that you sleep on, or like a cat bed. Maybe I was looking at cat beds. I don't know. What if cat beds turned out to be the best pillow, and then your cat could just like lay there right next to your head too? The pillow hump. Try the bamboo pillow. It's worth the money. Yeah, somebody DM me some good pillows or at me on fucking Discord or something, because I don't want to forget these. Get a My Pillow. No, I fucking got one of the My Pillows, like the, you know, from that dildo with the mustache, and like, it's not fucking comfortable. It's like, it feels as if though like it's a pillow filled with a bunch of like what do they call it? Like packaged peanuts. It's like they took a bunch of packaged peanuts and put it into a fucking sack, and they're like, here's the My Pillow, your money back, it's the best pillow of all fucking. It's not the best pillow of all fucking time. It's a bunch of packaged peanuts, and it's dog shit. The cooling pillow from Target. Nice. I'll have to check out Target. Target seems to have like more of like a homely aesthetic to it, whereas like Walmart's like, oh, here's something to sleep on during the fucking zombie apocalypse. Maybe that's why I even went there in the first place. Daddy, would you like some sausage? It was honestly like walking through a war zone as I shakily plodded down the stairs, surveying the scene while my mates tried to tend to the guy who'd had the absolute life beaten out of him. Because they'd taken most people's phones, I think only a handful of people left at the party were able to actually get in touch with emergency services. I remember a few of them sort of going from room to room, trying to give the 999 operators a kind of damage report, telling them exactly how many injured people there were. There were police cars everywhere within the hour, and I think maybe about 4 ambulances turned up to treat the wounded, with another few ferrying the more seriously wounded of us off to the hospital for treatment, which obviously included our mate who'd had his bones broken by the lad with the baseball bat. Once he'd been taken away, there was no reason for us to be there anymore, so we just grabbed a load of ale from the fridge in the house and got walking home. I won't lie, we did take a few cans and bottles that didn't belong to us, but I think we just wanted to drink to forget at that stage. Like it was probably the single most terrifying, traumatizing thing I'd ever seen in my life up until that point. Like I know it's a massive cliche, but I heard our mates' screams for months afterwards. Sometimes when there were quieter moments in college or fuck, sorry. I made so many mistakes, my voice cracks. Fucking sucks, bro. Sometimes when there were quieter moments in college or at night, I'd just hear them in my mind. Like not actually hear them, just remember them so vividly that it was like I could hear them, if that makes any sense. Those screams are a sound, along with the sound of bones breaking, that I sincerely hope I never have to hear, ever again. Get the fart pillow. You wonder what kind of pillow Freddy Krueger uses. He just like tries to adjust it, and his like claws like rip it up. Tree Flesh with the 5 says Justin Trudeau is denying it, but I saw him make out with my father. Justin, did you kiss Tree Flesh's daddy? Under the mistletoe? Under the Boxing Day mistletoe? The Boxing Day plant? I don't know what fucking shit in Canada they celebrate. Your maker. Is your maker here? In the chat? Or am I your maker? I guess I sound like your maker, don't I, huh? Why are we talking about fart pillows? What else is there to talk about anymore? We're running out of stuff. You really spent $5 saying that. You did. It was well worth. You sleep in the T-pose. You gotta establish dominance on your bed, you know? Just do how I do. Turn on your side and put some ear-canceling headphones, listen to your own podcast, and pass the fuck out. Well, I've tried to, like, fall asleep with headphones on. It doesn't matter if they're, like, earbuds. Maybe the over-the-ear ones would be kind of good. But, like, the ear-canceling ones that kind of bulge out, I mean, really any headphone that goes over the ears that bulge out, I feel it kind of just, like, throws me off my alignment chi, you know what I mean? Or it's just, like, way too, like, uncomfortable. It just feels like I'm laying on something weird. So I don't know if I'd be able to sleep with headphones in. Let's read. Do you ever come across David Paldies? I don't think so. Who is that? You stole your pillows from Radisson. You heard your maker recently. I was so confused because he did sound like you. That's funny. Yeah, I feel like there's a variation to our sound for sure, but people say I sound the same. I just don't like... I can kind of hear it, but I don't like really hear it the way people make it out. You have sleep headphones. Nice. Yeah, check out some sleep headphones. That'd be kind of neat. Alright, so... Sennheiser in-ears headphones. Okay, interesting. I do have Sennheisers that are over the ear that I wear. I really like these. I've had them for a long-ass time. Would you donate your pillow to me? I would if honestly, like, I've bought so many pillows hoping for the right one now that now my bed is primarily composed of pillow material. Pradeep has infinite options in which to orient himself. Am I good? I am good. Did I do something that made me seem not good? Inked the death. Yeah, hopefully your test comes back negative. If not, I know my mom, she had to, both her and my dad had contracted it, and they had to use some, like, aside from trying to just, like, keep the stuff out of their lungs, at times they would have to use the albuterol inhalers. If you guys are familiar with those, it just kind of opens up your alveoli. Is it alveoli? Alveoli? Ravioli? But yeah, just make sure you get that gunk out of your lungs, because that's the bad thing about COVID. Sometimes it just, similar to the flu, it allows like opportunistic bacteria to kind of populate the lungs while it's your immune system is getting pooped on. And then, obviously it leads to that sort of opportunistic pneumonia. So keep your immune system strong, my friends. This is really the best advice I can give you. Stay active. Vitamin C, vitamin D3, get some sun, get some activity, breathing exercises, everything you can possibly do. All that hippy-dippy bullshit that you hear, or like different things you can drink to help strengthen your immune system, it does really help. I've tried it many a time, and it helps you overcome. So, do I have any pets? I do have Pradeep. Deep. Linus Car Tips, who doesn't lie. Oh shit, is this... Oh, okay. I'm going to turn the music up just a tad. I feel like it's not spooky enough. Your husband's shoveling vitamin C down your throat, just like a fucking like whole driveway full of like yellow powder, just dumping it down your gullet. They give my parents some buried treasure. Yeah, my mom took it. It really helped for her, but she kind of preemptively, because she had pneumonia in the past, called her doctor to get a albuterol inhaler, which is something you might see people who have asthma use, and she said that really helped just to like open up her lungs so that she can expel the the phlegm, that builds up in the lungs, because the more that builds up, sometimes it's essentially like hindering your ability to kind of get a full like transfer of oxygen into your bloodstream and that kind of thing. So the more you can keep that out of your lungs, the better. Am I open-minded? Oh yeah, I'm very open-minded for sure. I don't know. What do you guys think? Am I an open-minded person? I can say that I am very anti people who are not open-minded, or people who adhere to certain ideologies, almost like the religion, like a sort of religion. Get frustrated with that sometimes. How many plague survivors here? Oh yeah, probably many. Probably many people were infected. They don't even realize it. They just weren't symptomatic, That's the kind of crazy thing, is the fact that COVID has existed in the United States presumably since, or at least COVID-19, since November of last year, 2019. And you might not even realize that you probably had it at one point. In late 2008, I came one night to find my mom sitting in the kitchen all alone and in floods of tears. When I asked her what was wrong, her answer made my jaw drop. My dad had left her. There was absolutely no indication that anything was wrong with their marriage or that he was remotely unhappy. But that afternoon, while I was out, he had apparently packed a few things into a suitcase, told her he was leaving, and just disappeared. I only mention this because it explains why my mom and little sister just didn't want to be in the house over Christmas and New Year. That kind of family-oriented time of year would have just been way too hard on them, so they basically buggered off to Mexico for a month to just decompress or whatever. Point being, I was all alone for Christmas and New Year's. Christmas Day sucked, and I realized that they were seriously right about not wanting to be alone in the house at that time of year. So for New Year's Eve, I decided to throw a little get-together for me and a load of my mates, hoping that a little party might take away some of the sadness I felt as a result of my dad leaving us. So on the night itself, it ends up being about 20 to 30 of us getting together in my parents' place, getting drunk, listening to music, playing Xbox, just a big hangout among some of the people I was closest to. It was a really good night to start off with, and it really did help take my mind off of things for a little while. We did the whole New Year's countdown thing, set off fireworks, Ever had yellow kiwi? They're sweet and tasty. I haven't, no. That sounds pretty awesome. I wonder if they sell them at, like, all the grocery stores. We did the whole New Year's countdown thing, set off a fire. Sorry, they wrote fireworks. I don't really get that, but we did the whole New Year's countdown thing, set off a few fireworks, generally having a brilliant little... I can't read this fucking paragraph, Jesus Christ. We did the whole New Year's countdown thing, set off a few fireworks, generally having a brilliant little night together. But the drunker we all got, the messier things became, until it was just a medley of people throwing up... Oh, jeez. Having sex in the spare bedroom. Jesus Louises. That's my kind of party, fellers and ladiers. But the drunker we all got, the messier things became. Dude, I'm struggling right fucking now. I don't even understand. But the drunker we all got, the messier things became, until it was just a medley of people throwing up, hooking up in the spare bedroom or arguing amongst themselves. Two of the people who ended up fighting were my mate Chris and his girlfriend at the time, a girl named Katie. And what I could gather, Katie thought Chris had been flirting with a mutual friend of ours and had taken issue with it. Chris was insisting that they were just being friendly and it was nothing to worry about, but Katie was adamant that something was going on, that he was cheating on her, blah blah blah. You know how it is, teenage drama. Now I know Chris really did love her, so it wasn't like a stand-up argument. It was more like him begging her to see reason and to not go mad and dump him over some perceived bit of flirting. He swore he'd never done anything like that she was the only girl for him, how much he loved her, all this romantic, theatrical stuff that you might expect from two young... It's like I can't make it through a whole fucking sentence. He swore he'd never do anything like that. That she was the only girl for him, how much he loved her. All this romantic, theatrical stuff that you might expect from two young lovers. It wasn't really anything of my business, though, so me and the other party guests just sort of left them to it while we got on with trying to have fun. Then a little while later, I find Chris sitting in the back garden, swigging off a bottle of raw vodka on his own. I go up to him to ask him if he's okay, only to find that he's crying, rotten drunk, saying that Katie had dumped him and gone home. I tried to be a good friend and console him as best I could, saying that she probably was just drunk and over-emotional, how there was a good chance that they'd just get back together over the next couple of days when she'd realize she'd made a mistake. But he was insistent. She was gone for good, and they wouldn't be getting back together. All I could do was get him on his feet and hug it out with him. The poor guy really was in one heck of a state, and I managed to convince him to hand over the vodka, drink some water, and then get some sleep in my bed so he could maybe sober up a wee bit before heading on home. He agrees. I tuck him in and then leave him to get some rest. About an hour or so later, the party is winding down and the remainder of us are just chilling in the TV room when someone goes off to use the toilet. They return like seconds later, saying someone's in the bathroom throwing up, then asking if they can go and take a pee in the back garden. Of course I tell them no, I didn't want them peeing all over my mom's flower... Ugh. Sorry, I'm like dodging swear words here in this fucking story, and it's annoying because it's like trying to sprint through the woods with sticks and stones, breaking your toes. I should type hello back to you. Hello. Hello. How are you? In the chat room, everybody. Of course, I tell them no. I didn't want them peeing all over my mom's flower beds, and that I'll nip upstairs to see if I can get whoever is out of the bathroom. So I get the toilet upstairs, and I can hear someone gagging and retching on the other side of the locked door. My friend Julia joins me, a wee bit concerned, and starts trying to help me talk to the person who's locked themselves in the bathroom. It's sometime then that I notice that two doors are open, the first being my bedroom, the second being a little cupboard on the first floor landing. I check my bedroom and see that the bed is empty, so it's obviously Chris that's in the bathroom, puking his guts up because of all the vodka he drank. I shut the door to the bedroom, then go to close the door on the other room, which happened to be a little cupboard that my mom kept cleaning supplies in. My first thought was that Chris had opened up that door thinking it was the bathroom in his drunken haze, then legged it to the right bathroom in his desperation to puke. But I noticed something that, at first, I didn't really understand the significance of. The cleaning supplies that my mom usually kept all neat in a little plastic box were spilled all over the floor. Not like open fluids spilling out. They were just all out of the box like someone had been rooting through them. As I'm wondering why someone would do something like that, Julia calls out that the person who'd locked themselves in the bathroom, presumably Chris, had gone quiet all of a sudden, and that they weren't responding. That's when I put two and two together. Violent vomiting, cleaning supplies missing, deep drunken depression. Chris was trying to end his own life. I absolutely pegged it to the bathroom door and started trying to kick the door off the hinges. Julia screams in shock at what I'm doing, and people from the living room start piling out towards the bottom of the stairs in utter confusion. I've been really protective of the house all night, not wanting people smoking inside, not wanting people peeing anywhere they shouldn't, trying to stop spillages and all of that kind of stuff. Then there I was, booting down my own bathroom door. It was way too heavy to actually kick off the hinges, but I did manage to kick a hole in the wood paneling, and that's when I got a look inside. Chris was laying there, a bottle of bleach next to him, and there was like pink puke all over the cistern, the floors, and his clothes. It was pink because he drank the bleach and it had corroded or burned the inside of him so much that he had vomited up blood. We were distraught, terrified, almost sure that he was dead, but we were quick to call an ambulance. Chris had his stomach pumped and he survived, but it took a long time for him to be back to normal. Because he puked, the fumes had damaged his lungs or something. I'm not a doctor, so don't have a go if I get the details wrong. So he had trouble eating, drinking, and breathing for at least a month after that. 12 years later, and I've never forgotten that, and I'm pretty sure neither has he. Because as far as I know, Chris never drank vodka again, because if the smell of it makes me think of that night, God knows what horrible memories it brings back to him. Yeah, that's sad. Drank literal bleach. I don't know why that was so hard to say. Yeah, I thought the person was gonna go pee in the flower bed and they were gonna find like a girl's body or something buried in there, which would have been fucked up, but I guess this is still pretty equally fucked up. Why do Americans like cheeseburgers and cheesesteak a lot? Because cheese is fucking delicious, Justin. And if you don't like it, you can get the fuck out of here, alright? America! Fuck yeah! Fucking eating cheeseburgers and cheesecake all day, yeah! Okay. Wait, I should probably gargle. Anybody want to hear me gargle? You ready for this gargle action? You just finished peeing your pants. Cool. It's kind of funny, like, whenever I get in, like, live, I go to chats and like Twitch. If you guys ever get on Twitch and watch live streams or maybe other live streams as well. I don't really watch many live streams on YouTube, but on Twitch where they're playing a game that I want to watch, like it almost seems as if though the funny comments that people leave, like the Twitch streamers always ignore them. Like they always ignore the weird stuff or say stupid. I honestly fucking hate Twitch like emote jargon, like, oh, weird champ, dude. Oh, that's weird champ. Like, I don't care if they say something like poggers, because eventually it's like so ironic that it's actually you almost like can't help but say it, like, oh, poggers, dude. But like, I just feel like when people say weird champ or like something is weird or that's goofy, it's like, dude, goofy is fucking good. You know what I mean? Like people who get so obsessed with things being normal or not like strange are also the same people that like don't like deathly avoid any sort of like comedic reality, and I feel like that's not fun at all. Like comedy is like the best shit ever, and usually comedy is manifested in the weird champs. So if you're a weird champ, let's get a weird champ in the chat. You're gonna use the gargle technique for the next porn vid. I feel like would you want to be the one gargling, Johnny, or wouldn't you want your partner to be gargling? I don't know. Maybe I'm mixing those up. Unless you're branching out into a new genre that I had no idea. All right, so we're on story 3 of 5. What kinds of things can you gargle with? Oh, I think there's a lot of options. He gargles his own Johnny juices. Johnny's juice. Auto gargle. You're making chocolate chip cookies? Please send me one, thank you. Remember, like, actually the chocolate chip cookies from fucking Subway is good as fuck. Well, all the cookies from Subway are really good. I'm not a huge fan of, like, cookies are, like, super crispy. Like, some people like crispy cookies that, like, crumble and break apart, but, like, and that's usually how they turn out if you let them sit out for a while, but honestly, I don't know what fucking chemical they put in Subway cookies that make them just, like, stay moist forever and, like, almost malleable, but I'd take that over any sort of crispy cookie, even if it's organic. Thanks, Mary. Try to have some cool-ass graphics. Is Johnny Sins legitimately in the chat right now? He is, yeah. Me and him are bros. We go way back from our early filming days. Moist, soft, chewy cookies are the best. Yeah, those are fucking awesome. The moist, chewy ones, and they're then the ones that are like that, but like Reese's. Those are fucking good as shit. Did you know Johnny Sins actually has a YouTube channel? It's like a vlogging channel. It's kind of amazing. If you guys have never checked that out. And I promise it is very family friendly. It's just like him doing a bunch of fucking like exercises. Shit like that. Do a vid explaining the evolution of my graphics? Like what aspect? Like having shitty thumbnails in the beginning and then stumbling across Robin, who actually makes good shit. Why do I avoid cursing and then curse every 5 seconds? Well, yeah, so when I'm reading the story, like the story that goes, or like the recording of the story, I want the recording to be like, not have bad words, but during streams, it doesn't really matter because the streams aren't like monetized, you know what I mean? But it's the recording of the stories and like the actual product that you put out that YouTube puts through their, review process. That you have a much higher chance of getting demonetized if you have swear words in there than you would if you just try to keep it swear free. But during the streams, I mean, I can say fart and piccolo and smoogly boogly all I want, and I'm not going to get in trouble. Explaining the come up of horny computer. Yeah, horny computer's been growing like fucking wildfire. I really enjoy doing horny computer just because it's fun to put like 10 memes in one post, because I mean, you get sent a lot of memes, so you might as well just fucking dump them out there for people to have. Whereas I kind of hate where like meme channels just post like one fucking meme and you're like, oh cool man, thanks for the one meme, you douche. I want 1,000 memes. Am I a pullover or zip up kind of man? If I have like I'm wearing like a sweater right now, but if I have like a zip up, those are kind of nicer. I don't know, they're just easier. Like I saw some meme where it was like me taking off my hoodie, and then it's like my t-shirt, and then it's like Morty's like, you son of a bitch, I'm in, like while also getting pulled up by the t-shirt. Horny computer stan, hell yeah. Randine is, I hope that's how you say it, or Randina. Well, welcome, newbie. A newbie in the chat. Okay, so for 18-year-old Marina Bolter. Is that how you say it? Okay, we're gonna have to use Forvo. Let's get it. Is that me in the horny computer picture? Yeah, probably. I am a disgusting, old, creepy dead man. Jensen actually made my profile picture on there, which is hilarious. I was like, I just want like a really creepy old like man and like just somebody like searching old shit on the computer, and that's what he put together like perfectly. I'm like, this is amazing. Okay. Bolter. Let's look at Bolter first. I just have to see if we pronounce these places right, or these names. Bolter pending pronunciation. Doesn't exist. Fuck. I think it's Bolter. Marina. Marina? I don't hope it's not Marinara. Wait, oops. Whoopsie daisies. Oh, perfect.
Marina.
Marina. Bones, you're having a bad day. Why are you having a bad day, my friend? We will make you well. I say we have a Let's Read Ugly Sweater Christmas party. Oh, dude, ugly sweaters would have been a cool design. I don't know how you would do that, or if I could do that on what the fuck's it called? Spreadshirt, but that would be sick. You have a Jack Skellington sweater, nice. Did you get it at Hot Topic, dude? For 18-year-old Marinara Bolter. Okay. For 18-year-old Marina Bolter of Bloomfield, Indiana. Sorry. Sometimes I just like can't pronounce words. So like, it's almost like you're moving too fast, like while reading music, and then you just, or like you're playing Guitar Hero and you're like fuck, and then it just like fails. For 18-year-old Marina Bolter of Bloomfield, Indiana, New Year's Eve of 2014 was much like any other. It was a night of excitement and revelry among those nearest and dearest to her. It was also a night when the young adults of her family might just be too socially lubricated to notice or care if she happened to be indulging in a little tipple herself. The fuck is tipple? A little tipple? What? Drink alcohol, especially habitually.
Tipple.
Who the fuck says tipple? Does anybody here indulge in tipple? I've never heard that phrase. That's hilarious. A little bit of tipple here, yeah. You found a Jack Skellington sweatshirt at the thrift shop recently. Nice, nice. Your birthday was Xmas Eve. You turned 39. You are not. Oh, happy birthday. Actually, yeah, a little tipple nipple. I thought it was nipple too. I was like, is nipple a phrase for alcohol? But then I guess tipple. Yeah, my tipples are rock hard right now. Socially lubricated. It was also a night when the adults of her family might just be too socially lubricated to notice or care if she happened to be indulging in a little tipple herself. So as the afternoon drew to a close, Marina, who had a part-time job working as a grocery store clerk at the IGA grocery store, boisterously clocked out of her shift and began the journey home to get ready for the New Year's party that she had been planning on going to. Needless to say, she was excited to blow off some steam. You see, in 2014... You see, 2014 had not been an easy year for Marina. During the summer of 2013, Marina had discovered she was pregnant, and after the birth of her child in April of 2014, Marina had to do some growing up, and fast. She got herself the grocery store job, trying to put her wild child days behind her, and committed herself to being a responsible, loving mother. But God laughs at well-laid plans, and tragedy was about to befall her. In August of 2014, a violent argument erupted at the family home between her older sister and her boyfriend. The argument quickly became physical, one in which household items were thrown around the home, and in a horrendous stroke of misfortune, Marina's baby was injured in the melee. Neighbors happened to catch wind of the injury to the infant and swiftly reported the incident to Child Protective Services. A social worker was dispatched to the home, who, with a heavy heart, made the decision to remove the child from the home and place them into foster care. Marina was devastated and vowed to do everything she could to win back her child. But it was not to be, for yet more tragedy was to strike Marina and her family, because that New Year's Eve, After she clocked out of work, she would never arrive home. In fact, as people would come to learn, it was as if though she had simply dropped off the face of the earth. One of the first places we might wish to look in order to get answers as to what happened to her is her relationship with a young man by the name of DJ Lockhart. Marina had a rather with this word, I can't say this word. Tempestuous? Tempestuous. Man, these some big old words tonight, damn. Characterized by strong and turbulent or conflicting emotions. Tempestuous. Fuck. That might be too much for me to say. Little old me don't know no big words. Okay, we're gonna try it. Marina had a rather tempestuous, sounds almost gross, tempestuous. Marina had a rather tempestuous, on-again, off-again love affair with DJ, who was the father of Marina's child. They were young, foolish, and headed into two very different directions in life. But as... what the fuck? They wrote Maria, sons of bitches. It's okay. That was in your English class, you feel smart. Nice. I never heard that one, to be honest. They were young, foolish, and headed in two very different directions in life. But as Marina's mother insisted in the years after her disappearance... What? Oh, okay. Sorry. This takes my brain to different places, so I just, lose... I don't know. Their use of English is weird. They were young, foolish, and headed in two very different directions in life. But as Marina's mother insisted in the years after her disappearance, they were very much in love. Despite what many have said about DJ possibly being responsible for Marina's disappearance, there are just as many who are, or were, close to the Bolter and Lockhart families that insisted that DJ was only guilty of loving her too much, given that he was devastated beyond belief at her having vanished on New Year's Eve. Yet there is another man in Marina's life who we must consider as a possible suspect, or who at least may have had a hand in facilitating her disappearance. In late 2014, Marina and DJ were not seeing eye to eye at all, and to all outside observers, it seemed they had definitely broken up. This was mainly because Marina seemed to be seeing other people, mainly an older man named Toby, who she seemed to be rather secretive over. But she was being secretive about him for good reason. You see, not only was this older man married, but he was actually an old friend of the Bolter family, one that had known Marina's parents ever since she was born. Toby acted as something of a sugar daddy towards Marina, helping her out financially until she was able to afford the rent on her own apartment. However, it's important to note that Marina having her own place was one of the stipulations for regaining custody of her own child. It appears that Toby was less of a serious relationship option and more of a means to an end. But as much as Marina tried to keep the relationship a secret, in a small town like Bloomfield, it's only a matter of time before even the deepest secrets see the light of day. And in the process, Toby's wife, who was also an old friend of the Bolter family, discovered her husband's infidelities. And shockingly, it was actually Marina's own mother who informed her of it. So as it turns out, the New Year's Eve party that Marina was supposedly headed to that night was none other than Toby's. But as she strolled out of work, calling Toby on her cell phone to confirm a few last-minute arrangements, she spotted some... Oops, I just clicked my fucking mouse. Sometimes I sit on my mouse, and then all of a sudden a particular nerve fires and my finger makes a clicky on the mousey, and I fuck up because it records. Also, I really like it when you guys send me the true crime shit. So if anybody considers themselves a bit of a, private eye or a researcher, or maybe a journalist type character, or just really enjoys researching concepts like these or different, true crime stuff, please do, look into it, write something up, try to submit it to the subreddit, reddit.com/r/let's read official, or let's read submissions, where a lot of people send them anyways, because it's kind of hard. I mean, it's not hard to make a Reddit account, but it's kind of inconvenient. But how do you sit on your mouse? Why is it near your butt? No, I didn't sit on it. I shit on it. It's covered in feces. So as it turns out, the New Year's Eve party that Marina was supposedly headed to that night was none other than Toby's. But as she strolled out of work, calling Toby on her cell phone to confirm a few last-minute arrangements, she spotted someone walking towards her across the store's parking lot. According to Toby, Marina's last words to him before she hung up the phone were, "Uh-oh, it's DJ." I probably shouldn't say it like that, as if though it's a fucking dialogue, sorry. I'm just gonna read it like normal. Reese's feces. According to Toby, Marina's last words to him before she hung up the phone were, "Uh-oh, it's DJ." Marina did not call Toby back. In that surprise parking lot encounter, DJ straight up told Marina that he knew where she was planning on going for New Year's Eve, adding that he didn't approve of her relationship with Toby whatsoever. He then pleaded with her to attend a New Year's party with him instead, insisting they should work on repairing their relationship for the sake of their child. Marina replied that it was not the time or place to be having such a discussion, that she had made plans with Toby and she was sticking to them. DJ was furious, but supposedly took the rejection on the chin before offering to give her a ride home so she might get out of the cold. But it seems that Marina actually managed to get a ride home from a regular customer. Whether or not she did this out of pure happenstance or begged to be taken home because she was afraid of DJ is entirely up for speculation. But one thing is abundantly clear. The following day, Marina failed to show up for her scheduled New Year's Day shift at the IGA store. Knowing full well that she would head out to a party after work, Marina's employers were initially unsurprised by her unauthorized absence. They had probably been, opa whoopsing style. Well, a real crime, you say. Maybe I should send you the video and other info on me getting arrested and having my charges drooped. Yes, the cop broke the law. Well, I mean, you could send that in, I guess, like as a scary experience you had, but I mean, I feel like that wouldn't really fit sort of the niche aspects of what I read on the channel. Like, it's usually like scary experiences that people have and true crime stuff or paranormal stuff, but IDK, I don't know if that would really fit. Would you say just watching Oh, dude, Total Recall is 3 tits. Nice. Yeah, Total Recall is fucking awesome. Dude, Total Recall was the same director who directed Starship Troopers, and those are like some of my favorite fucking movies. Unauthorized absence, so professional instead of hangover. I know, right? There had probably been some drinking involved, and with drinking comes hangovers, and with hangovers comes tardiness. But still, they tried her cell phone to see if she was going to be heading into work at some point, yet there was no answer. IGA management then got in touch with Marina's mom, hoping she might be able to provide some answers on her daughter's whereabouts. But Marina's mom hadn't seen her either, and the news that she had failed to show up for work only succeeded in worrying her. She headed over to Marina's apartment, using her spare key to let herself in. There were no signs of any break-ins or struggles, but Marina's purse, cell phone, and keys were all missing, along with her work uniform. This meant that, in all likelihood, she never made it home from work that evening. Marina's mom immediately reported her missing, and a police investigation began shortly afterward. Obviously, given the fact that she seemed to have disappeared immediately after leaving work, police stated very publicly that they wished to speak to the customer who had apparently driven her home that evening. It took 3 whole weeks for the man to come forward, but we can understand why he might be nervous. In an interview with investigating police, The man claimed to have dropped her off at a pizza place near to her home. The restaurant was closed, but Marina apparently opened, stating that... fuck, I got like spit stuck in my throat and had to stop, sorry. Narrator struggles, hashtag. What do we... Skip legs day. Skips legs day. Skips leg day, though. No, we never skip leg day. Leg day is my favorite. Do I collect anything? I guess just souls. Subscribers' souls. Directly into my beautiful locket that I wear around my neck. And you open it up and it's got a picture of Dylan is chillin'. If anyone likes missing person cases and would like to be a part of helping find and solve them, Web Sleuths is an amazing website that's open to anyone interested in joining the community. Oh, interesting. Web Sleuths, huh? That would be something worth looking into. Joel got that thick and juicy, thick and juicy, thick and juicy ham. Monday leg, Tuesday leg, Wednesday leg. I get all 3 legs done. Joel collects used panties. Just from the vending machine down the street. The restaurant was closed, but Marina apparently openly stated that she didn't want the man to know where she lived. Although this might seem like an unusual thing to say. Fart ass. Although this might seem like an unusual thing to say, when it was put to Marina's mom, she attested that it was just the kind of thing her daughter would say, and that to her, it was a totally believable story. This was backed up when the man was made to undergo a polygraph test and passed with flying colors. Despite being one of the main suspects in Marina's disappearance, DJ did all he could to help the family find her, even if it was to no avail. He was said to be absolutely bereft about her disappearance and was never quite the same afterward. Marina's mother spoke highly of the young woman and always insisted that he couldn't have been involved in her vanishing. However, Marina's father and his extended family have perennially viewed the boy with suspicion, openly stating that he had the most to gain from her having disappeared. But the fact remains that we will never truly know if he was responsible, as we will never get a full confession. You see, DJ took to drinking heavily after Marina went missing, getting into more and more trouble with the law and the local populace, so much so that he got into a violent altercation on February 12, 2015, one which ended in him being stabbed to death by the man he had gotten in a fight with. And then there's Toby, Marina's old lover who had given her thousands of dollars to try to help her get her life together. He was one of the last people Marina spoke with on the evening of her disappearance, and one might think that he would cooperate fully with the investigation into her whereabouts. But by all accounts, Toby acted very suspiciously in the months that followed. He apparently stopped talking to Marina's mother altogether and only involved himself with... Laura with the 5 says, finally joined the Discord. How do I link up with the people from chat? Do they have the same names or no? I'm totally unfamiliar with Discord. Help. Yeah, so a lot of people do actually have the same names in there, but also not at the same time, if that makes sense. And yeah, I mean, you just kind of like, I think in Discord you can go in there and do like a introduce yourself. You can even, in the introductory area, you can say what your name is in chat here, if you have a different name or whatever, and then just chat in general chat, and hopefully someone's on. But Bill, you're gonna nuke the moon. Please do be careful. I need that moon for my graveyard tan that I'm working on. Cookies are done. The cookies are done. Everyone over to Tree Flesh's house and steal her and her cookies. He apparently stopped talking to Marina's mother altogether, and only involved himself with Marina's father, almost aggressively asserting that DJ was to blame for her disappearance. However, there is another person of interest in this case who we can simply not ignore as a suspect. A man by the name of Vernon Gale Briner. I think Briner. A man by the name of Vernon Gale Briner. Probably Briner. However, there is another person of interest in this case who we can simply not ignore as a suspect. A man by the name of Vernon Gale Briner. Vernon was a convicted murderer who had been previously sent to prison for the murder of a 19-year-old girl and had only been released from the penitentiary in 2012. As it turns out, Vernon had a solid alibi for her whereabouts. As it turns out, Vernon had a solid alibi for her where was at the. Okay. As it turns out, Vernon had a solid alibi for his whereabouts at the time, with an employer testifying that he was at work at the time. Vernon also passed a polygraph test in which he was straight up asked if he had done anything to Marina, with the results indicating that he was telling the truth when he said he had nothing to do with her going missing. To this day, there have been no significant clues as to what happened to Marina Bolter. No dead bodies had ever been found that could have matched up to her DNA or description. No one outside of her small hometown has ever seen anything matching her description either. For all intents and purposes, it is as if she just vanished from the face of the earth. It's a terrifying prospect that, even in the digital age, with man's ability to track and trace using the plethora of electronic devices we employ in our daily lives, that a girl as well known and well loved as Marina could simply disappear, never to be seen again. There were many suspects in her case, many people who could have snatched her up and disposed of her in a way that no one would ever find her. But only one man is guilty. Only one person really knows what happened to her, and how her final moments on this earth played out. To our knowledge, that man is still walking the streets of the United States, knowing her committed perhaps. And to our knowledge, that man is still walking the streets of the United States, knowing he committed perhaps the worst crime imaginable, and knowing that no one can touch him for it. I feel like that entire last paragraph is like, the way that I read it almost makes me like it makes me sound like I'm bragging, like as if though I did it. You know what I mean? Like, even though it's a sad thing, I'm not trying to make light of it, but it's just like, and knowing that no one can fucking ever find out that it was me. I mean, him, or fuck you. I don't know why. It just seemed like I was like, and you'll never find out, bitch. Tamor Ali, what's up? Batman. "42 mistakes." Nice. Thank you, Nocturnal Child. Oh my god. Johnny Sins wears red lingerie. Nice, dude. Same here. Just my thong sandals. Do I draw? I used to draw. I was actually pretty good at drawing when I was younger. But I don't know. It was more like something that manifested in like constructive, or like basically just in school, you know, where it was like they told you like, okay, we're fucking drawing today, and then when I would do it, I was pretty good at it. Same with, I took an art class, like a drawing class in college, and I was pretty good there too. And I liked talking to my art teacher and stuff, even though it was kind of annoying because he didn't want us to listen to music, because he said that you know, it interferes with the drawing process. But I'm like, that's a bunch of bullshit. You actually get better when you listen to Let's Read and The Gang. Cheese fries. Will I ever start to read creepypastas? I don't know. I just don't even know if I have time for it, to be honest. A medium rare steak. Holy shit, that sounds... I actually had that last night from Texas Roadhouse. Texas Roadkill. You wish you could draw. Honestly, like any creative aspect that anybody could ever want to do, you can do. Like if you got 2 arms, 2 legs. I mean, you're not going to be using your legs for drawing unless you're like, you know, that's how you prefer it. But like making music, drawing, writing, like it doesn't matter whether you suck right now. The only thing that matters when it comes to those hobbies is whether or not you have an interest. And sometimes people's interests are based upon their success with it early on because they lose the patience to continue to pursue it. But anybody can, you all start at different like varying degrees of like talent, you know what I mean, which is just your natural inclination towards certain gifts, but like if you put the time into something and you are interested in it and you enjoy it, after a degree of hours, 100 hours of drawing, 1,000 hours of drawing, 10,000 hours of drawing, like you will get fucking good at it. You know what I mean? You will watch YouTube videos or whatever and practice what they teach you, and you're gonna get fucking good at it. You just gotta do it. Literally anything, you just gotta do it. You can't be the best right out the gate. Okay. You can draw with no legs. You might as well. I start with the legs, and once I get good with drawing with my legs, then I move my hands. That's how you should be progressing. More tamales, yeah. Alright, so this is Melbourne. So this is Melbourne. This is a murder in Melbourne. I think it's Melbourne, right? Not Melbourne. Melbourne. Melbourne.
Melbourne.
Lord Melbourne.
Lord Melbourne here. And Packingham. 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 Come on, baby.
Pakenham.
Pakenham. Pakenham. Pakenham tight. Pakenham clean. Pakenham so much it makes you mean. Does Mr. Reeds like tamales? He does. I think. Been a long time. There was a drawing in your school of a giraffe that looked like they drew it with their feet. Lol, it's funny. It looked like the... remember, like, when... what the hell is it called? Napoleon Dynamite. Jesus Christ. I don't know why I couldn't think of Napoleon Dynamite. I remember when he draws that one girl, and he's like, it took me over 3 hours to shade your upper lip. She's like, oh. And it just looked like the worst drawing I'd ever seen, but also the best. And something I look forward to eventually achieving one day. Okay, Melbourne, suburb of Pakenham, is one of the wealthiest areas in Australia. Oh, you're supposed to start drawing with your tongue. Sorry. Do you think you could wrap your tongue around a pencil? Everyone, that's the new thing. Pencil tongue wrap challenge. Hashtag. Send that in. Be sure to at ABC in the morning. And, or Ellen, yeah, no, at Ellen Degenerate, and get her you're going to get on her show. I guarantee you, if you send that video in, and if you can do it. Also, I would like to see. The Melbourne suburb of Pakenham is one of the wealthiest areas in all of Australia. The area is home to several large mansions that house some of Melbourne's most successful business people, boasting sprawling estates with luxury amenities. Boasting sprawling estates with luxury amenities such as swimming pools, boating lakes, and even small-scale golf courses. Oh, I thought I saw a spider in front of my eyes for a second, but it was just like a fucking fur on my like eyelash. Spooked me. I hate spiders. If you can do that with your tongue, DM me. Okay, how the fuck do I read? Anybody know how to read? Do I have bars? Just as we established earlier, Mars bars. Mars bars. The area is home to several large mansions that house some of Melbourne's most successful business people, boasting sprawling estates with luxury amenities such as swimming pools, boating lakes, and even small-scale golf courses. It is one of these mansions that 45-year-old Michael Fuck, dude. One of these days I just want to read a name that I know how to say. Griffey? The fuck is Griffey? I guess that's not too abnormal.
Griffey.
Griffey! It's fucking Michael Griffey! Okay. Someone link the SoundCloud. We got the SoundCloud up? I've been practicing. I got over 10,000 hours in freestyling. I'm a master freestylist. It's one of these mansions that 45-year-old Michael Griffey called home. He lived with estranged wife Diane, along with children that Michael hardly saw due to his busy work schedule. He would often spend long periods of time living in an apartment he owned in Melbourne itself, using it as a kind of base of operations for his many business ventures, including the parent company D&M Plaster Transport. On January 31st of 2004, Diane and the children were hosting a huge party to celebrate the coming of the new year. Scores of guests swanned around the crowd. Swanned? Hey, night ravens, sleep tight. Sleep extra tight. Sleep so tight that you can't even get out of your bed in the morning because you're stuck. Wait, January 31st? Oh, they fucked this up. They meant December 31st. Fools! Unless Australia has a different New Year's Day, kind of like the Chinese New Year. Fuck, I'm like the fucking anchor man, where like if I read something, whatever's put directly in front of me, I read it. I can't even, like, my brain can't comprehend or like work around it. On December 31st, of course. Dude, I don't understand why my fucking voice cracks. Like, and as the reading goes on, my voice gets more cracky. Wait, fuck. Okay. There's not a January 31st, is there? There is. What the fuck? Did you guys know this? Did someone say crack? Yeah, someone said crack. On December 31st of 2004, Diane and the children were hosting a huge party to celebrate the coming of the new year. Scores of guests swanned around the grounds of their stunning estate, eating What the fuck, dude? There's so many words, dude. We need to get rid of like 90% of the words in the English language. How the fuck do you say this bullshit?
Canapé.
Canapé. If you've ever eaten a canapé, I also would like to invite you to eat shit, because that is way too fancy for my taste. A small piece of bread or pastry with a savory topping, often served with drinks at a reception or formal party. Smoked salmon canapés. Canapé. Yo, fuck your canapés, bro. We only eat tamales in this bitch. Scores of guests swanned around the grounds of their stunning estate, eating canapés, drinking champagne, and looking back over a year that had brought many of them great financial success. But Michael himself was nowhere to be found. When asked, Diane replied that he was home, but that she had not seen him and was probably milling around somewhere in a drunken haze, socializing with business associates or eyeing up the young cocktail waitresses, then floated around with silvered... Dude, it's like one little fucking typo, dude. After a long, like a 9-sentence sentence where they like, it's like 9 sentences in one fucking sentence, and then they add a typo at the end that just fucks me up. Not a big deal, but I'm crazy, so that's frustrating. Okay. When asked, Diane replied that he was home, but that she had not seen him, and was probably milling around somewhere in a drunken haze, socializing with business associates or eyeing up the young cocktail waitresses that floated around with silver trays laden with luxury food and drink. But the reality was truth. Dude. But the reality was truth. Look at this sentence. But the reality was truth was something far. It's not a big deal. It's just like, how do you write so well, but then also like leave these little bombs in there that just make me feel like shit? But the reality was, okay, here we go. But the reality was something far more disturbing, because although Michael was indeed on the property, just not in the state his loved ones imagined him to be. Because on the evening of January 2nd, 2005, his wife Diane, along with their 17-year-old daughter Cassandra, walked into one of the second-floor office spaces to find Michael lying dead in a pool of his own blood. The mansion was vast, with so many rooms that Michael was found to have been dead for days, simply lying in a room that none of the family had been in for quite some time. The investigating coroner Let's proofread. Yeah, that should be my new name. When I'm president, there won't be any canapes. Thank God. Sleepy Joe. Appreciate that. The investigating coroner determined through tissue analysis that Michael had been bludgeoned to death at around 3 p.m. on December 29th. Whoever had murdered him had then wrapped his bloodied corpse in a striped bedsheet before attempting to hide it under a tarp. There were 3 large and seemingly fatal wounds on his head, and one obvious defensive injury to his wrist, indicating that he had attempted to fight off his attacker before being overpowered and killed with a blunt object. Police discovered that Michael's wallet and cell phone had been stolen from the property, and that 1,000 Australian dollars had been removed from a safe that only 3 people, one of which was Michael, had the combination to. They also found that 2 pages had been torn from a journal that his family said had a meticulous record of his movements and business dealings. Given that Diane was the beneficiary of both of Michael's life insurance policies, which were Reg with the 20 Aussie buckaroos. Dude, I'm reading a story about your hometown here, the richest in Melbourne. Says this is the calm your frustrations, Joel. Thank you, Reg. Oddly, I'm crazier now. The next story is just gonna be me saying but thank you, Reg, for the 20. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Mansions suck. Why do mansions suck? Dude, we all gotta get a big old mansion, fucking have a sick-ass party in it, dude. At least you don't have to say Tanzania. Thank you again, Reg. Appreciate that. Given that Diane was the beneficiary of both of Michael's life insurance policies, which were valued at almost $2 million, she was one of the first people to be considered as a suspect. Police discovered that not only had she written bad checks in the time before he was killed, but that in the short time before his death, Michael had complained to his friends that his wife was mishandling money, and that he could use this fact to gain the upper hand when it came to dividing up the family finances in the event of a divorce. It was also discovered that Michael was having multiple affairs and financially supporting other women, and that the main reason he was staying in central Melbourne so much was not because of business dealings, but because it afforded him time to indulge in his extramarital affairs. However, he had not done a very good job of keeping this a secret from Diane, and text message exchanges made this very evident indeed. However, Diane's lawyer prevented her from commenting on how this made her feel, and this, along with the other evidence of her financial misdealing, made her the #1 suspect in her husband's murder. She was arrested in 2007, and primarily... Whoops. Son of a ball sack, dude. Nocturnal Child with the 5 says, I hate canapes. How the hell do it? Is that how you say it?
Canapé.
Canapé. Nocturnal Child hates them, and so do I. And together, if we eat enough of them, we will rid the world of them. Thank you for the 5. EJ with the 150. Got the peach. I think it's a peach. Yeah, that's a peach. And EJ with the 150 as well, with the banana. Peach? Okay, if you have a peach and you have a banana, what do you do with them? Is this some sort of puzzle, EJ? Some sort of puzzle that I must figure out. Son of a ball sack. I mean, it's not wrong. This is true. My origins can be traced all the way back into somebody's pants. She was arrested in 2007, and preliminary hearings began shortly after. Yet the case was not to be a simple one by any stretch of the imagination. Not only was there simply not enough evidence to really charge Diane with Michael's murders, multiple murders, fuck. Not only was there simply not enough evidence to really charge Diana with Michael's murder, but a number of other twists and turns in the case meant that pinning down a definitive suspect became almost impossible. Bizarrely, during the preliminary hearings of the case against Diane, her and Michael's daughter, Cassandra, the very same one who had found his body on that fateful day in January of 2005, actually attempted to confess to his murder. Despite her insistence that it was she that beat her father bloody in the days after Christmas before attempting to hide his body with a sheet, police noticed a series of inconsistencies in her story and dismissed it as a false attempt to implicate herself in something she had nothing to do with. But the question would cast a shadow on the entire affair for the duration of the investigation. Just why exactly would Cassandra want police to believe that she was the murderer? Police also investigated Michael's son, Kenny, who was something of a playboy, living a fast lifestyle with fast cars and even faster women. And there was every reason to believe that he too needed money, but again there was very little evidence to suggest that he had even had it in him to plot the murder of his own father, let alone go through with it. Police managed to Sleepy Joel. Alright. Sleepy Joe Biden versus Johnny Sins in the chat right now. Go. Freestyle battle. Let's see what you guys got. Police managed to secure an interview with one of Michael's mistresses, a woman by the name of Jillian Gold, who had apparently been engaged in an affair with Michael for the better part of 5 years. She knew that she was not only the woman of fuck. God damn it, I cannot read tonight, dude. I just there's too many commas. That's the issue. I think I have a comma phobia. Police managed to secure an interview with one of Michael's mistresses, a woman by the name of Jillian Gold, who had apparently been engaged in an affair with Michael for the better part of 5 years. She knew that she was not the only woman whom Michael had been seeing, but since he had essentially funded her lifestyle and was not written to his will, there was absolutely no reason to believe that she was the one who had killed him. However, there was a chance that since Michael was known to partake in sugar daddy-style relationships, that breaking it off with one of his so-called sugar babies had resulted in an argument that may have resulted in a kind of revenge killing. But since Jillian was completely ignorant of these other women's identities, she couldn't point police in their direction, and the investigation into being an affair-related murder floundered. Police then got in touch with Katrina Fitzpatrick, Michael's sister, who told the police of a rather worrying encounter she shared with her brother in the time before her brother's death. Around a month before he was found dead, Michael got in touch with Katrina in an attempt to arrange a meetup with her. She had dithered over a time and place, citing her busy work schedule, but Michael had almost violently insisted that they meet as soon as possible. They met in a high-end cafe in downtown Melbourne, and from the get-go, Katrina noticed that Michael appeared to be acting extremely shadily. She had apparently tried to confront him on the reason for his off behavior several times, but was rebuffed on each occasion, with Michael insisting on reminiscing about happier times, including their childhood together. By the end of the conversation, Katrina, admitting to be extremely worried for her brother's mental state, and pressed him for one final time about the reason for their meeting. Michael barely said another word, instead opting to present her with an expensive piece of jewelry, beginning to cry as he told her he loved her. Michael then departed the meeting, and Katrina never saw him alive again. There happens to be another interesting aspect to this case, albeit one we might struggle to find into the bitter... Melissa Meeks with the 2. Thank you, Melissa. Thank you. Sugar daddies in this story. I know, we had 2 sugar daddy stories so far tonight, and it's feeling pretty sweet. Yeah, how many different types of daddies are there? The sugar, cinnamon, curry. Do we have any curry daddies? Would anybody want one of those? I could check my seasoning cabinet for that. You want a salt daddy? An A-salt daddy? Ooh. What does a salt daddy do? Do they just like actually take your money? You're coloring. Pick you a color. Seafoam green. Do it. Spicy daddy. Oh, aquamarine. There you go. Ugh. A sweet and sour daddy. A sweaty and old sugar daddies. Is Johnny... I wonder if Johnny Sins is a sugar daddy. Let's see. Let me look this up. Johnny Sins net worth. It says Johnny Sins net worth in rupees. No, I would like to know in other dollars, please. 5 million. Looks like Johnny... Oh, there you go. Johnny Sins is in the chat, and he is potentially a solid sugar daddy for y'all's. What about Sasha Grey? 3 million, so she's not quite there. Raw sugar, yeah. Corn Pop was a bad dude. It's like one of my favorite speeches of all time. There happens to be another interesting aspect to this case, albeit one we might struggle to fit into the bigger picture. In the year 2008, almost 4 years after Michael's murder, it was discovered that his plaster transport company was facing dire financial difficulties in the run-up to his killing. Michael owned over $1 million in tax... Owed. Sorry, I read that wrong. You're a sugar mommy. Whoa, dude. Sugar mommies and daddies? Would a sugar mommy and daddy actually get along, or would they come to find that they don't even need each other? Michael owed over $1 million in taxes to the Australian government, as well as owing $100,000 in loans to other creditors. A lot of this loan money could be accounted for, but some of it could not, and it's possible that Michael owed money to some people that it might be extremely dangerous to owe money to, the kind of people that, if it appeared that the debt might not be repaid, might simply have Michael killed as a warning to others. So the question remains, just who killed Michael Griffey? Fuck, how do you say Griffey? I forgot.
Griffey.
Thank you, random woman online. That was my sugar mama. She just provides me with words. A glucose father. Glucose grampy. You'll take a sugar daddy at this point in life. Don't judge me. You know, I don't know. I've kind of come to the realization that, like, I mean, look at this dude. He was married to somebody for a while. And I mean, obviously, his financial scenario seemed to have found him in a bit of a precarious scenario that resulted in him getting fucking clued. But, you know, he had sugar babies on the side. He had his wife, who most likely was leading to a divorce. So it's like most relationships tend to be based on some sort of like, what can you provide for the relationship kind of thing. You know what I mean? Because like obviously, like you might say you're in love with somebody, but if you start to notice that they're not really providing anything to the relationship, I'm sure it starts to peter out. So I don't judge people for looking for a sugar daddy, a paraplegic daddy. Yeah, that might be. I mean, maybe. I really don't judge people for that, or you know what I mean? Because it's like that's a tale as old as fucking time. Like somebody provides resources for the relationship and allows them to, you know what, like raise children and run the household and all that kind of stuff. It's not abnormal. I guess as long as everybody's happy. As long as everybody's happy. So the question remains, just who killed Michael Griffey, and what exactly were their motives? There was no doubt that Michael seemed to know he was in danger. The teary encounter with his sister is a testament to that. There's also the possibility that he believed or knew that he wasn't safe in his own home, which is why he stayed so often in the downtown Melbourne apartment. The fact that he seems to have been murdered in his own home is all the evidence we require to back this theory up. There's every chance that Michael was murdered as a result of his deaths, but the fact that his daughter tried to confess to his murder throws a huge spinner into the world. A huge spinner? Or span? What is spanner? Is what it said. A spanner. Oh, it's a... Okay. It's a wrench. It's an actual wrench. I'll just say wrench. That's confusing. Anybody ever use a spanner? You want love, not money. I mean, people say that, but I've heard a lot of people go down the same theory that love doesn't even exist. You know, it's just some construct in your mind. Until someone else can offer you something better, you move on, you know. And I'm not saying that's the right way to go about it. You know, you want to hope that the vows that you take at your marriage day, where it says through better and worse and sicker and poorer and all this kind of stuff, but like sometimes you kind of have to wonder, like, well, do the two people that enter into that marriage, do they share the same philosophies? And if they start to deviate, you know, from such, I can see it getting a little confusing or messy at that point, you know. There's every chance that Michael was murdered as a result of his deaths, but the fact that his daughter tried to confess to his murders... Fuck. Oh, baloney. There's every chance that Michael was murdered as a result of his deaths, but the fact that his daughter tried to confess to his murder throws a huge wrench into the works of such a theory. She was obviously trying to cover for him, but whether or not she was trying to cover for her mother or her brother is another question entirely. I think we can all agree that this is frankly terrifying, and that someone's own family might be well involved in their murder, that those are... I think we can all agree that this is frankly terrifying, that someone's own family might well be involved in their murder, and that those that are supposed to love and cherish us are just as capable of snuffing out our lives in the name of greed or malice. Whether or not answers will finally come out regarding his death is anyone's guess, but for the time being, Michael's death will remain yet another unsolved mystery, and his killer is free to walk the streets. He belonged to the streets. You shouldn't marry someone full stop, says EJ. I don't know, when you think about it, like, marriage is a fucking weird thing. Like, sometimes I think to myself, I'm like, okay, let's think of the origins of people, right? whether or not you think you were made by aliens or God or just randomly pooped up out of nowhere from a primordial ooze that turned into monkeys and then turned into, game shows. Like, you have to ask yourself, the concept of marriage is pretty blatantly just a social construct, but it doesn't seem as if though it's perfect, and it certainly doesn't seem like it lasts forever. It's almost like a business deal, you know what I mean? Or it's almost an antiquated version of a business deal. And it's not to say that you can't find one that has mutual respect, but at the same time, every business dealing can be pretty easily exploited, and individuals could be put in a position that maybe they regret. I don't know. There's a lot of different theories into whether or not true love exists, but it's tough to see it sometimes when there's so many versions of it that tend to just fall into chaos. Marriage is still beautiful, but you got to work to make it beautiful. If someone stops working towards it, it turns into... It's certainly not beautiful anymore. It turns into a toad. An ugly-ass toad. Are you ducky? Am I a ducky? I don't know. You love and believe in marriage and love. Yeah, I mean, if you can find someone that you love and want to... But that's not to say that I've seen plenty of people who go into love, and after 5 years, suddenly that love that they thought they felt suddenly becomes based more on a circumstance in which they fell in love in the moment, but no longer maintain or manage and that kind of things, and then suddenly love becomes conditional. It's a scary thing, and I think people need to think it through before they dive into it or pretend that movies are going to tell them what the realities are going to be, because that's obviously not the case of existence at all. You've been married 3 years and it's good so far. That's good. I'm happy, and I hope you guys continue to work hard to maintain your marriage and love each other, and work hard to raise your kids, or if you don't do that, take care of each other, and do things together, and you share similar philosophies in life and grow together and all that good stuff. Joel, get a girlfriend. Let's see what you say. Well, that's the thing, is like, I'm not against the idea of like doing that and falling in love with someone. I'm trying to give you multiple perspectives here, that I do believe in love, but I also believe in falling out of love too. I think there's many possibilities in this world. Get a prenup. There you go. Easy fix. Is it offensive? Like, if you were getting married to a person and they asked you to get a prenup, would you be offended? Would you, like, not want to marry them or something like that? Because honestly, I feel like at this point, it's, like, irresponsible not to just get a prenup, Because, like, what is the divorce rates are over 50% now, are they not? Or are they worse? I don't even know. Like, you almost have to just look at statistics and say, like, let's just sign a few papers before we sign a few papers. Kami loves Hello Kitty. There you go. Do you believe in life after love? Sometimes I get scared of, like, I don't know, like your entire youthful, position in life between the ages of fucking, early teenage years, into your 20s is hoping that you find that sort of like perfect, like movie-esque love, and then you just like see people who end up being in that, having like maybe 4 kids or something like that. And then somebody just decides to exit stage left, and now all of a sudden, every time you try to like talk to another person, you realize your life is kind of messy now, and you got to like explain that. And Millennials rule at marriage. Well, that's good, I guess. That's pretty exciting. Let's see. Let's look it up real quick. Divorce rates 2020. U.S. divorce rates hit a 50-year low. This is from ifstudies.org. Divorce in America has been falling fast in recent years, and it just hit a record low in 2019. For every 1,000 marriages in the last year, only 14.9 ended in divorce. According to the newly released American Community Survey data from the Census Bureau, this is the lowest rate we've seen in 50 years. It is even slightly lower than 1970, when 15 marriages ended in divorce per 1,000 marriages. A lower divorce rate means longer marriages. According to the new census data, the median duration of current marriages in the U.S. has increased almost 1 year in the recent decade, from 19 years in 2010 to 19.8 years in 2019. Oh. Well, that's exciting, guys. Go get married. Fuck it, dude. Go to a shotgun wedding in fucking Vegas, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Let's start fucking getting married and having babies, dude. Let's just fucking start a commune and start another fucking village. Let's go. Oh, there's less divorce rates because no one is getting married. That's a good point too. That's a good point too. If you don't do it, there's the divorce probably stays pretty low. All right. This is the last story of the night, my friends. Let's procreate, let's procreate, let's procreate. Let's fucking do it. It's not the... Okay, so... There might be some places here I have to figure out how to pronounce. You had a courthouse wedding with no bullshit. Yeah, dude, I remember, like, my buddy... Well... call her a buddy, but it was a girl. I guess girls can be buddies, right? But my buddy and her husband, they fucking got married and shit. And, you know, for me, marriages are kind of inconvenient. I don't know about you guys, but, like, going to weddings, they're kind of like, they can be fun if you know a lot of people there, but they also can be, like, unfun if you don't know anybody. Kind of like the inconvenience of, like, funerals. But not quite as bad as funerals, obviously, because it's, like, exciting, I guess. But sometimes you're just like, oh, my God, I just want to get the fuck out of here. And there was, like, probably, like, 3 plates of macaroni, like, gourmet macaroni bullshit, right? And I just remember, like, we were, you know, as they were finishing the wedding, they were briefly discussing, like, how much things cost. And she was hanging on, they were, like, hanging on to these plates of macaroni, like, bringing with them to her car, and, like, and the guy was like, we're definitely fucking taking this home, or you guys can take some of it home, because this macaroni costs us $900. And I'm like, what? In the fucking, like, itinerary of your wedding day, the macaroni cost $900 fucking dollars? I could have made you some for, like, 30. Like, two packs of, like, hamburger helper, bro. Like, and I don't know, it's just, like... That, to me, I'm just like, fuck that shit. Where people take out, like, loans and have a $50,000 wedding. Like, get fucked, dude. My one friend did have a pretty sweet wedding when we went to Jamaica. Because it was just, like, small. Everybody knew each other. And we were all having a good-ass time in Jamaica. And I'm like, this is fucking sweet. This is how it should be done, you know? Go somewhere and have fun. You have a buddy and his name is Doug. That's cool. I know, right? It better be from... And mac and cheese better cure fucking COVID. Let's go. Mac and cheesy. Let's get married in the backyard. Yeah, why do we even need to tell anybody when you're married? Like, why do you need to, like, sign papers and get the government involved? Like, just fucking say it one day. Just walk out and say... I declare bankruptcy and I'm married. You know the thing. It's not just the insurgents or Western militaries. That sounded weird. Squawk! Squawk! It's not just the insurgents or Western militaries that make Afghanistan such a dangerous place. Even the land and the weather itself seem to be out to kill you. Despite being thought of as a scorched and arid country, the average temperature in this far eastern area of Afghanistan during the wintertime is just above freezing point, and at night, temperatures have been known to dip as low as minus 25 degrees Celsius. And it was on a freezing cold New Year's Eve up in forward operating base Matar Lam that... Is that the word? Fuck, Matar? Sounds kind of legit. Matar. Playing my guitar in Matar. Oops. Fuck. Fuck, daddy. Alright, here we go. There's no pronunciation of Matar. Fuck. Matar, definition. Definitious, burglicious, mertion. A groom or stable boy in Iran. Huh, interesting. Am I married or happy? I'm not married. I feel pretty happy, though. I mean, we all have our days where we're less happy than others. Oh, shit. Let's go, baby. We're just going to say Matar. It sounds right. And it was on a freezing cold New Year's Eve up in forward operating base Matar Lam that U.S. Army Sergeant Anton R. Phillips found himself feeling terribly lonesome. It was yet another holiday season away from his beloved daughters, 13-year-old Lexus, 8-year-old Antoneth. Sorry, Antoneth caught me off guard. I've never seen that name before. Antoneth. You're playing GTA 5 story mode right now? Fuck yeah, dude. It's one of the more fun story modes to burn through. Pacific Ocean, you want to have 10 wives. Meaning you want to have 10 headaches a day. Are you my right, fellers? Okay. It was yet another holiday season away from his beloved daughters, 13-year-old Lexus, 8-year-old Antoneth, and 5-year-old Alina. And being stuck in a support fob in eastern Afghanistan, when all he wanted in the world was to hug his family and sink a few beers to welcome in the new year, Sergeant Phillips felt like he might as well be on another planet. Forward operating base Matar Lam was, by that time, home to a few hundred soldiers, most from the 2nd Infantry Brigade Combat Team, 34th. Dude, I don't know why. Sometimes I just break out into like a lisp and or a weird accent. Johnny Sins has so many wives, he doesn't even know their names. Yeah, boomer humor, baby. The best humor. The peak of all humor. When you can say, take my wife, please, fella. Oh shit, 68 mistakes. I can't make another one, otherwise everyone's gonna get horny. Spinal. Forward operating base Matar Lam was, by that time, home to a few hundred soldiers, most from the 2nd Infantry Brigade Combat Team, 34th Infantry Red Bull Division. It was one of the larger FOBs in the province of Langman. What? Squawk? Fuck, okay. Lagman? Fuck, dude, really? Okay, actually, I feel like this might be on Forvo. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it, Mr. Krabs. I'm feeling it. Feel it, feel it. Feel the vibration, Mr. Krabs. Okay, here we go.
Lagman province.
Lagman, no pain. Poor kids are just... Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, it was one of the larger FOBs. It was one of the larger FOBs in the province of Lagman, and was well on its way to attaining a built-up status, which means that base officials were planning on having a post-exchange store constructed, as well as several other amenities normally associated with larger operating bases. There was even a small recreation... Whoops. There was even a small recreation ground which the soldiers had christened Pease Park, an area of the base that functioned as a kind of workout or hangout area. Soldiers would go over to Pease Park to either smoke up or bulk up, depending on whether or not they felt the urge for self-improvement or self-destruction, and missing one's family could definitely bring on a longing for the latter. So it was this area of the base that Sergeant Phillips decided to wander off to, in an effort to kill some time and take his mind off of how much he missed his family. As we've established, Afghan winter nights can be incredibly frigid, and Sergeant Phillips' platoon mates did not expect him to hang around Pease Park for very long, not unless he was planning on freezing to death. Yet when almost an hour and a half had passed by, and Sergeant Phillips still hadn't returned to his living quarters, his buddies started to grow a little concerned and decided to go looking for him. He had mentioned to them that he was going to head up towards Pease Park, so his platoon mates headed right in the park's direction in the hopes that they would find him safe and well. It was about halfway into the walk to the park that Sergeant Phillips' platoon mates saw him lying in the dirt, bleeding profusely from multiple stab wounds. They tried to get a response from him, calling out his name and slapping him around the face in an attempt to rouse him from his unconsciousness, but it was no good. Phillips was pale and cold to the touch. His platoon mates screamed for a medic, and it should be noted that those that tried to save his life did so speedily and efficiently, but it was no use. Sergeant Phillips had no pulse, and no amount of blood transfusions or shock padding could bring him around. Shortly afterward, his platoon mates were heartbroken to hear that their friend and fellow soldier had lost his life. Lila with 3 says spinal Lila. So, Lila, did you watch any of those documentaries from Joseph Vincent related to sports? Sport documentaries, they're pretty good. Forward Operating Base Matar Lam immediately went into lockdown, as it was initially believed that the wounds had been inflicted by Taliban fighters that had somehow snuck past the base's secure perimeter. The base was searched from top to bottom by the FOB's Quick Reaction Force, but no Taliban fighters were found, and the preliminary assumption was, as was previously stated, that there had been some kind of sneak attack undertaken by the enemy. But as the weeks went by, there were a number of seriously unusual things to note about the investigation into Sergeant Phillips' death. Usually speaking, when an American soldier is killed in a foreign country, there is an immediate communications ban imposed on soldiers so that news of the death doesn't somehow make its way to the American media. The last thing the military wants is for the soldiers' family members to hear rumors or speculation of the death from a news outlet instead of from representatives from the armed forces. Then, when definitive answers can be secured as to the reason and circumstances behind the death, the family is notified. Then and only then are details released to media outlets. This process can take anything from just 24 hours to a couple of days, but in the case of Sergeant Phillips, the U.S. Army took a full 3 weeks to announce his death, and even then refused to release any details on exactly how he had lost his life. Obviously, this was highly unorthodox in terms of military procedure, and Phillips' family, who were already heartbroken by his untimely death, were left with even more anguish as they struggled to get straight answers. Inshores. A packet of inshore. Oh, you did watch them. Nice. They're amazing. I love them. Cool, Lila. I'm glad. I just think they're really cool because the editing is pretty impressive. Like, it's just, there's no BS. Like, it's just constantly moving, you know? Sometimes, like, documentaries are kind of slow, but this one kind of just feels like it's, like, edited almost like a trailer. Like a really good trailer, but for, like, 30 to 40 minutes straight. You know, it just constantly keeps your attention, which is cool. Oh, Sissel, let's read. He may just maybe have missed my super chat. Oh my god, I'm sorry. Oh wow, I did. Yeah, so sorry about that. It says, now you're telling me he didn't mess up once explaining that divorce rate thing, but messed up 20k times reading tonight at his own pace. I know, right? Yeah, like burn through anything that's like technical writing like a fucking robot, but when it comes to reading someone's true scary stories, I fuck it up. Sorry about that, Says I don't know why it didn't make a noise for some reason or like pop up, but thank you so much. Let me play it again. Maybe if I click replay. Wait. Okay. I don't know, I clicked replay, but it fucking replayed with the twerk song. So that's kind of hilarious, but I don't think it was like, normally it's like a certain value that gets the twerking, but hey, you got my booty moving there briefly there, but thank you either way. Yeah, if I ever miss anybody's donos, do not hesitate to at me and let me know, because I would hate to ignore somebody there accidentally, and obviously not intentional. Do I like Call of Duty? Not really. I've played it for years. I was big into it when Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare came out, which was like back in 2007. I remember I rented it from GameFly, believe it or not, and I just kept it. I like bought it off of GameFly, and it was fucking sick, like leveling up and all that kind of stuff. But I honestly have to say, since Call of Duty 4 till 2020, which has been 13 years, overall, Call of Duty has not changed as a game, as a gaming, like as the way the game feels. It's just been identical, you know what I mean? And for me, I'm kind of just like looking for that like novel experience or whatever. Having played games for so long, Call of Duty just gets kind of annoying and old. But I do not, disrespect anybody who's into it now, because obviously, similar to Pokemon, like there's always going to be a new audience, a new group of people that are like, now old enough to give it a whirl, or perhaps they've just enjoyed it since its, existence. Rook X with the 5 says, thanks for the stream. Let's read, always coming through with the OP voice. Thank you, Rook. And thanks for hanging out in Discord the other night. That was awesome. Rook X was chilling while I was slicing zombie heads off, and it was a good time. A little bit of an audience going there. How do I feel about powdered milk? I don't think I've ever had powdered milk before. I guess I've had, protein powder. It's pretty much the same, I guess. So I feel pretty good about it. Obviously, this was highly unorthodox in terms of military procedure, and fuck, dude. Pokemon is a money trap. I think Pokemon Go is a money trap because they have all the, DLC and stuff. I don't know if the new Pokemons have DLC or like all the add-ons and stuff, the microtransactions. I wouldn't be surprised just to like completely bleed all these kids of moolah, which is kind of how like Pokemon cards worked back in the day. They were just like constant microtransactions, like every day, say you did like, you got $5 every week for taking out fucking the trash, and then you would use that $5 to go buy a pack or two of Pokemon cards. Squawk. Obviously, this was highly unorthodox in terms of military procedure, and Philip's family, who were already heartbroken by his untimely death, were left with even more anguish as they struggled to get straight answers on just how he had died. As time went on, the Army made a series of decisions that appeared to shed some light on the circumstances of Sergeant Phillips' death. Army Command saw fit to posthumously award Sergeant Phillips the Purple Heart Medal, an award that is only given for wounds sustained during combat with the enemy, and one that is not given in the event of a non-combat death or a homicide within the ranks. He was also awarded a Bronze Star, a medal that is awarded by any person who distinguishes himself or herself by heroic or meritorious achievement or service in connection with military operations. And to top it off, Sergeant Phillips was posthumously promoted to Staff Sergeant. Obviously, this suggests that Army Command had discovered that Sergeant Phillips had undertaken some act of bravery of heroism that ended in the loss of his life, and that it had potentially involved combat with enemy forces, be they Taliban or otherwise. Yet even after these accolades were awarded, there remained many unanswered questions regarding Staff Sergeant Phillips' death, answers which the Army seemed to possess but were unwilling to divulge. Yet even the military seemed only too willing to admit that they didn't have all the facts surrounding the case. The U.S. Army Criminal Investigation Command announced that they were offering a $25,000 reward for any information Garbage Pail Kid Gang. I forget, what was Garbage Pail? You went from Pokemon cards to tarot cards, lol. The Christians were right. Pokemon is the devil. The U.S. Army Criminal Investigation Command announced that they were offering a $25,000 reward for any information that would lead to the arrest of those responsible for Staff Sergeant Phillips' death. They also leaked information that they believe there may be a link between Phillips' death and a service member based in the area of the National Training Center outside of Barstow, California. Fuck. How do you say this fucking shit? Anybody from Cali? California? Forvo. Right quick. Type this shit in. Barstow. Is it Barstow?
Barstow.
Barstow. What the fuck?
Barstow.
Oh, I figured they'd say it like a Californian or some shit, but it sounds weird. Barstow, California. Okay. They also leaked information that they believe there may be a link between Phillips' death and a service member based in the area of the National Training Center outside of Barstow, California. Army CID also stated that they were interested in talking to service members in bases around the area of Colorado Springs. We have reason to believe that someone who knows something about the untimely death of the soldier, and we are not giving up and determined to bring those responsible to justice, said CID spokesman Chris Gray. We strongly encourage anyone with information to contact us immediately. These statements raised many questions. Do the Army suspect that whoever murdered Sergeant Phillips were actually a serving member of America's armed forces? Were investigators lied to in the aftermath, possibly by the murderer themselves? Did they tell investigators that Phillips had died as a result? Did they tell investigators that Phillips had died as a result of a Taliban sneak attack? And was this what led him being awarded the Purple Heart and other accolades? These are just a handful of the questions that have so far been unanswered, and that means Sergeant oh, dude, what the fuck? And that mean... Louisa, goodbye. Have a good night. You want to Californicate? Sky tissue that I wish you saw. Blue do. These are just a handful of the questions that have so far been unanswered, and that means Sergeant Phillips' death remains shrouded in secrecy and mystery. The only thing that's clear is that the whole episode leaves a very bad taste in the mouth. The U.S. military clearly knows everything about his... clearly doesn't know. The U.S. military clearly doesn't know everything about his death, but has also decided that what it does know is most definitely not fit for public consumption. Whatever happened to Sergeant Phillips that night is either so terrifying or ominous that neither the general public nor his fellow soldiers can be allowed to know the truth, or so outrageous that it would cause mass protests and resignations among the general staff. Was his death the result of a Taliban sneak attack? Or was some other nation-state involved in the surveillance or infiltration of American military bases in the region? It's entirely possible. God, why does my voice have to crack? Like, just don't fucking crack, voice. Don't do that. That's bad. It's entirely possible that if discovered, a Russian or Iranian It's entirely possible that if discovered, a Russian or Iranian special forces operator would resort to deadly force to ensure their presence remain undetected. Or it may be a simple case of murder in the ranks. That's always a possibility. Yet given the CID investigated the case thoroughly and decided to award medals normally associated with a combat death, it definitely seems as if something else is at work here. Something horrifying enough to be kept a closely guarded secret by the U.S. military. Either way, Sergeant Phillips' death is likely to remain yet another chilling unsolved mystery that professional and amateur sleuths alike are bound to ponder over for many, many years to come. He said come. Did you ever see those stupid fucking memes where someone says come out of context and then it just cuts to a black screen and says he said come? That's the pinnacle of comedy right there, baby. All right. We hath made it to the end of the stream, my friends. And now I gotta read the outro, but you guys gotta think of something funny to say. Say it like chill, say come. It's really funny when you talk like chills. Hey friends, thanks for listening. Click that notification bell to be alerted of all future narrations. If you got a story, be sure to submit them to my subreddit, r/Let'sReadOfficial, and give and receive feedback from the community, and maybe even hear your story featured on the next video. And join my Discord to interact with me and other listeners directly. And if you want to support me even more, grab early access to all future narrations for just $1 a month on Patreon, and maybe even pick up some Let's Read merch on Spreadshirt. And check out the Let's Read podcast, where you can hear all these stories in long compilation form and save huge on data, located anywhere you listen to podcasts. Links in the bio. Thanks so much, friends. And remember, cum shots always end things. Be the change, you filthy animal. Canopies. Canaps. What are they called again? Canaps. Lila with some $2 says, can you do a live cream, please? This live stream just turned into a live cream. Say yes to socially lubricated daddies. Kira, you're welcome. Thanks for stopping by. Join the Discord if you want to keep chatting with these beautiful people. It's always a good time. Boom. Hey, listen. Can you please put lube on your belly button? I guess you could. I would suggest getting out all the lint first. This is your lint. Your lint. And remember, D's get degrees. That's not always true. I'm going to find you on Discord. Somebody gotta think of something funny to say. Squawk one. I could say that. Thanks so much, friends. And remember, Squawk 1. I guess I'm Squawk 2. Am I Squawk 2, Squawk Dad? The Squawk Man? And remember, be socially lubricated responsibly. I could say that. Booty, butt, booty, butt, booty, butt, cheeks. Now that's kind of good, too. I don't know. That's kind of seems like a lot more transcended in conversation. Always be sure you come into the new year. Booty butt, booty butt, booty butt cheeks. I'm gonna say that because it's funny as fuck. Thanks so much, friends. And remember, booty butt, booty butt, booty butt cheeks. Lubricate your tipples. Can the president-elect join the Discord if you want to? Yeah, we've been linking the Discord all night. If one of the mods can link that again, that would be Liddy. Make it cum related. That's funny. Gotta make it cum related. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for being here. Always appreciate it. You guys are amazing and good people, and you make it fun, and you're not negative, which is awesome. So I appreciate that. And yeah, join the Discord if you want to continue chatting with all these beautiful people. And yeah, follow me on Twitter at Let's Read Creepy. Follow me on Instagram at Let's Read.official. Follow the meme page at Horny Computer. Even probably the most fun you'll have. Kisses and smooches. Twerk, twerk, twerk. But yeah, this video will be edited and up on Patreon. It's only $1 a month or $10 a year if you do a bulk purchase, where you get the clean audio with no music or any sound effects or anything like that. Just be aware that there's usually like 30 seconds of silence in the beginning of narrations on Patreon, so it might be silent for a little bit before it kicks off into them. And there's like 5 seconds of silence between each story, if you can wait that long. But yeah, so that's pretty dope. And then this will be out tomorrow, since it's not quite midnight here on the East Coast, at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Keep an eye out for that. And it's going to be Liddy, Titty, and Molly with the 2 says, I'm here, I feel bad I'm late, I love you, Joel. No, Molly, thank you so much. Thank you. I'm sorry. I wish, yeah, I feel like YouTube still hasn't been like notifying everyone super great on that, but 'tis okay. There will be many more streams to come, and who knows, maybe if nothing's going on, I might even do a New Year's Eve stream if we're feeling it, Mr. Krabs. But I appreciate you guys. Love you. Hope you have a good night. Stay safe out there, whatever you get into. And I shall see y'all's. Oh no, I'm actually an idiot. I didn't load up my fucking I didn't load up my fucking outro song. It's kind of embarrassing. Peaks Jet 1994. There we go. Goodbye.